Yeah, I know. We'll go here and everybody else will go up there. Nope. He can torture you this time. Oh,
Good morning, football fans. We are broadcasting live from the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, where today it will be the RPI Engineers hosting the Hobart Statesmen in Liberty League football action. My name is Kurt Stutt. I'm here with Yancey Roy. We're going to bring you all the action live today on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. RPI coming into this game with a 4-2 overall mark, coming off 2 league wins against Rochester and then Buffalo State. Hobart Statesmen coming into today 3-2. They are 0-1 in the conference. They had a bye last week. They were off, but the week before they lost their only conference game. That was to Ithaca 31-7. So Hobart coming in with a losing streak of 1, well, if you call it a streak, and RPI coming in with a 2-game winning streak. So before we get to today's game in very sunny Troy, and unseasonably warm also here in Troy, before we get to the game, I talked to RPI engineer head coach Ralph Isernia before today's game, and let's give that a listen.
Okay, Coach, we're before the Hobart game, but first, let's take a look back the last 3 weeks. The St. John Fisher game, a 3-0 loss. Did you leave the field thinking we should have won this game?
Yeah, the simple answer, yes. We made enough mistakes to last an entire football season, and it was it was frustrating calling the game. It was frustrating, for our players. We didn't execute. We missed a bunch of throws. There were a number of things there. We certainly played well enough on defense to win and only giving up 3 points. And I thought, really there in the end is, the first team to score a touchdown is going to win the game. And really thought we had a little bit of momentum right before that last drive to get down the field. We just didn't make the right reads. We had some receivers open and, weren't able to hit them. And in a game like that, all it takes is one play, and we weren't able to make it. So, moved on to the next week and into league play.
Okay, then 2 games in league play, 2 wins, convincing wins. Happy with the performances there?
I was, and especially coming off the Fisher game. We needed to put together some performances that were. That were team wins, and I think you saw that on offense, defense, and special teams in those 2 games. And the special teams unit was able to swing field position in the Rochester game and have Rochester play with the long field. They had a very dynamic running back, and we wanted to make sure that if they were going to drive, they were going to drive the entire field. So defense did a great job in the Rochester game in getting turnovers, and offense did a nice job of converting those turnovers into points. And when you do that, that really hurts. Hurts the other team, because those are bonus possessions that you're getting, and so you're getting bonus points. And with us, they weren't necessarily a short field, but offense was able to drive and put some really good drives together and really put the game away.
And then Buffalo State last week, a continuation of the Rochester game, basically.
There were, obviously there were two different teams. I'm not sure if we've never won at Buffalo State. We've only played, I think we only played there once. But it was important for us to get a lead, get out ahead. Carlos Davis had an interception return for a touchdown. Halftime it was 14-7, and then we put some drives together in the second half. Had another interception there in the second half. Actually, two more interceptions in the second half on defense that produced some short fields for the offense, who were able to convert those turnovers into points. And those are the last 2 weeks. I think those are the things that have been very encouraging for us. Is when the defense gets the ball, gets those free plays, gets those turnovers, the offense is able to capitalize on that and get points off of those turnovers. And then especially taking advantage of the short field. Special teams has been really solid in producing field position and limiting our opponent's field position. That'll be very important this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say now, Hobart, this has been a tough
Please welcome the Engineers.
Yes.
How do you see this one going?
Yeah, when you watch Hobart on film, Hobart is still Hobart. They've got the same types of players. They get the same, the size, the same, strength and speed. Some of the names may have changed. They have two very dynamic running backs who are back again for this year. One has played a little bit limited, but I expect to see both of them on the field, even though they're not listed. But I do expect to see both of them on the field, probably at the same time. Both playing running back, if not both playing running back at the same time. One probably splitting out at a wide receiver position. So, that hasn't been released, but I think we are expecting them to play.
Once again, good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to East Campus Athletic Village and the East Campus Stadium for this afternoon's Liberty League contest between the Statesmen of Hobart College and your Engineers of Rensselaer. And now let's meet the starting offensive unit for the Engineers. At left tackle, number 73, Danny Beckenhuis. The left guard, number 70, Rick Denbusky. At center is number 51, Thomas Olesen.
You always worry about that.
At right guard, number 62, Aiden Monteiro. At right tackle, number 68, Luke Koschel. The tight end is number 10, Shane Allison.
Just about everyone is
the wide receivers for the Engineers, number 4, DJ Palmer.
The big thing
number 1 is Sterling Walker Sutton.
It's going to be field position. It's going to be turnovers.
And number 0, Gil Goldsmith.
Of having good field position.
At running back is number 5, Dylan Burnett. And at quarterback, number 19, Jake Kazanowski.
You have two of
the rest of the Engineers and their head coach, Ralph Isernia.
This weekend. So, the team that makes it's no secret, the team that makes the fewest mistakes is most likely going to win. But you're going to see, swings in field position, and if you can force the other offense to play the long field and drive the field, that usually is a recipe for success.
Okay, good luck against Hobart, Coach.
All right, thank you.
And we are live here once more at the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, where we are nearing the start of today's game. Liberty League action, RPI versus Hobart. Kurt Stutt, Yancey Roy on the call for you today. And for these two teams, for RPI, Yancey, want to keep on the streak, get a third league win. For Hobart, in terms of their league, kind of a must-win at this point. Got a loss to Ithaca and can't take two losses in this league.
Yeah, I mean, RPI is hitting the meaty part of the schedule right now. This 4-game stretch down to the end where they're playing the best teams in the conference, starting with Hobart. Of course, they got Ithaca, St. Lawrence, and Union after that. RPI off to a 2-0 start.
The visiting team,
well, look, frankly, they beat the teams who were expected to be at the bottom of the standings, Buffalo State and Rochester. But now it gets a lot tougher.
It is
and they're playing
RPI
Hobart, and gosh, isn't it always a white knuckler when these two teams get together? 1-point games, overtime games. It's something like over the last 17
RPI
years,
won
I think there's been at least 6 or 7 games
where
where it's decided by 3 points or less.
Hobart
it's always a tight contest between
will
these
receive
two.
the opening kickoff.
And,
the Engineers
I think
will
as you come in
defend
today, what you might be
the
looking
south end
for
zone.
is a lot of defense. RPI has certainly
And now,
been carried by
ladies and
its
gentlemen,
defense
to honor and
through the
respect
first
our
half of
country
the season.
and the men and women who have
for those
served
not
and
familiar with
continue
Hobart,
to
they have a
serve
pretty tough
America.
defense as well.
We
They're
ask
only
you
allowing
please
100
rise,
yards
remove
rushing
your hats.
overall
As the RPI pep
through
band
5
plays the
games.
national anthem of the United States
They
of
have
America.
a balanced attack, passing and rushing. They're led by their quarterback, Dave Cruson, who's a veteran who's been there a long time. Some other things to point out, Kurt, to look for as we get ready for the kickoff. So maybe numbers to keep in mind. Hobart is, generally speaking, a lot better than RPI on third down conversions offensively. They've done a lot better than the Engineers on that. They've also done a lot better in protecting their own quarterback. They've only allowed 3 sacks for the season. RPI has, I believe, allowed 18 so far into this season. But at the same time, RPI much higher total of sacks, defensive sacks, and also a much more ball-hawking secondary. Engineers with 12 interceptions over 6 games, which is a really impressive number. So again, we're fully expecting it to be another tight game, as these two always seem to play. Oh, one other thing to point out, common opponent. They only have one so far this year, and that was St. John Fisher. RPI lost to St. John Fisher 3-0, while Hobart defeated the Cardinals 17-0.
So they had the coin toss before the national anthem. I believe Hobart won the toss, and they elected to take the ball.
Merrick to kick off for the Engineers.
So it'll be Merrick kicking off for RPI. It'll be RPI going right to left, Hobart left to right. Of course, your radio dial in this first quarter. Reminder, this is WRPI Troy with Engineer Football from the East Campus Stadium. Kurt Stutt and Yancey Roy on the call for you today. Boswell and Farrell are expected back. Looks like that is the duo back waiting for this kickoff. Merrick sends a low kick. It's taken by one of the up men at the 22-yard line to the 25-30, and he's going to get pushed down just after he crosses the 35-yard line. I think it was Drew Walsh. Yeah, Walsh on the return for Hobart.
So pretty good field position for the Statesmen as they start at their own 36. As you mentioned in the open, kind of unseasonably warm, about 59 degrees here at kickoff. It's going to steadily warm up through the 3 hours of football, probably go up another 10 degrees. Hobart in their road uniforms, white jerseys, orange numbers, orange pants, orange helmets with the H. RPI with the black helmets, black jerseys, white numbers, and white pants.
First and 10, Hobart at their own 36-yard line, just underway. No score here in Troy. One back, 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Got a tight end on the right. Cruzen's going to hand off on first down. Boswell takes the carry, and Boswell is stopped at the 38. So he's going to pick up 2 on first down. Nope, that's not Boswell, pardon me. That is Denham.
Gain of 2.
There's 2 featured, well, actually 3 featured backs. Tim Denham Jr., number 2. He's a junior, 5'10", 205. He's their main ball carrier, 322 yards rushing on the season. Andres Duran also gets a lot of the work. He has 159 yards coming in.
Second down and 9, they'll call it. It's really 8 when you look at the field for Hobart. And they'll go to Denham once again, and he's going to get stopped short of the 40. So a gain of almost 2 yards. It'll be just about, we'll call it 3rd and 6, or almost at the 40-yard line.
And here's where we mentioned in the pregame that Hobart has a pretty good number of third down conversions on the year, 46%. Meanwhile, the RPI defense is holding opponents to just 28% of its conversions on third down.
3rd and 6 at the 40-yard line. 2 receivers right, or 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. We're going to stay on the ground again to Denham. Denham's at the 40 to the 45, and he will not get a first down. I think his arm fell right on the 45-yard line. They won't give him that much. They'll give him the 44, but not enough for a first down. 4th and 2, and Hobart is sending out the punt team. And the yard marker guys, no, they moved. You can't. It's 4th down.
A little anxious there. C.J. Lyons, number 2, the cornerback, coming down and hitting Denham right on the thigh there as he was trying to get around the corner, and it looked like he might have a chance to get a first down, but a nice tackle by Lyons to stop him short.
So the ball's on the 44, and Hobart on the first possession with 2 minutes into this first quarter, no score. Hobart on their first possession will send out the punt team. So Vicente Lyon, back to punt. Low kick, spirals, hits at the 28. Walker Sutton's going to let this one roll. It takes a Hobart roll. They're trying to wave the ball further along, and it goes at the 10-yard line. So it didn't look good coming off his foot. But for Lyon, it ends up being a good kick down to the 10-yard line. RPI takes it there.
Yeah, 46 yards net there. 18 of it, the last 18 of it on the roll. So RPI is going to start out deep in its own territory. And Jake Kazanowski, who has taken over the starting quarterback for the Engineers, now out there for his first possession.
Engineers first and 10 at their own 10. 12:39 to go. First quarter, no score. Engineers putting Hobart in a punting situation on first down. Burnett's going to take the carry on first down. He's going to get almost no yards as he ran to the right, and Blake Hansen just followed him and tackled him.
Both teams would like to establish the running game this afternoon, but they're going to be running up against defenses on either side that are pretty darn good at stopping you from running the ball.
Let's call it a gain of 2 for Burnett on first down. So RPI with a 2nd and 8. We have 2 teams that are not giving up a lot of points this year. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Burnett's in the backfield. Handoff goes to Burnett. He's going to run right, gets across the 15, pushed by the defense on the tackle, and he gets out to about the 18-yard line. Sets up a much more manageable 3rd and 2 for RPI.
Yeah, a little bit of a break there. Probably knocked him forward for a good 2 yards.
Tackled by number 42, Anthony Romano. 3rd down and 2.
So 3rd and 2 for the Engineers. Hobart was a 3 and out. Can Hobart get a first down on their first possession? Sun is ducked behind the clouds, probably in the low 60s here right now in Troy. Snap. Burnett takes the handoff. He's out to the 20. I think he's got the first down. They're going to mark him at the 21. They're coming in at the 21, so this will be a first down for RPI.
Just got enough. Dylan Burnett coming in as the Engineers' leading playmaker on offense. 674 yards rushing. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry, and he's got 6 TDs on the ground so far this year.
First and 10 Engineers at their own 21. 10:55 to go, first quarter, no score. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Burnett in the backfield. Goldsmith now goes in motion. Handoff goes to Burnett. He's going to run up the middle, and he runs into a wall of bodies at the 23, and that's as far as he gets.
Again, no mystery about trying to get the running game going. That's 4 plays and 4 rushes by Burnett so far here in the first quarter.
As we're just underway, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of engineer football, hockey, and baseball. And WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org and pick up our broadcast. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, WRPI.org. Second down and 8. Kazanowski drops back, throws, looking for Burnett. It goes off his hands and bounces incomplete. RPI not able to do anything there on second down, puts them in a 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Tight end Allison getting off the field. No tight ends right now. 2 wideouts each side. Burnett in the backfield. Kazanowski, starting the quarterback, is in the shotgun. RPI looking over to the sidelines. Now they'll get back and set. Maybe soon. 5 seconds left on the play clock. RPI still moving around. Now they're ready, and they'll snap the ball. Kazanowski's looking left, sees nothing, looks right, throws, and it's knocked away. Diallo had a hand on it, knocked it away from the intended receiver, and it's incomplete on 3rd down, and RPI sends out the punt team.
Well, he got a hand on it all right, but it was also thrown behind the receiver. There was no chance for a catch there at all. I mean, there was a slot to maybe hit the guy, but Kazanowski kind of threw it a little bit too late and was behind the receiver. No chance to make a catch on that one at all.
Burke back to kick for RPI. It looks like Lenz is waiting this kick. Lenz singles a fair catch, and he's going to grab it right around the Hobart 41-yard line. 10 exactly to go here. First quarter, no score in Troy.
Well, again, we're expecting another white knuckler between these two teams. Last time around in Geneva, if you fans recall, it was a 10-9 Hobart win. A tense affair all around. And in a game where you're expecting low scoring and a lot of defense, you got to, of course, pay attention to field position. And right now, it's favoring Hobart. They're going to start this second possession at the 41. Kind of just, both teams have punted so far, but the ball's moving a little bit more towards the RPI goal line.
Cruson is behind his 2 backs, single receivers each side, tight end on the left. Cruson hands off to Boswell. Boswell goes left, and he gets forced out of bounds near the marker.
Spencer Brockdorf, the first one to him to make the tackle, was assisted by others.
I should say the line of scrimmage, not the marker. It wasn't near a first down. It was about a yard. David Cruson is the quarterback for Hobart. The running backs are Tim Denham Jr. and Rayshawn Boswell. The wide receivers are Rain Darinola and Alex Labella. The tight end is Mike Zuccone. The line is Ben Frank, Ethan Kowalski, Devin Adamo, Cade. Pardon me, I'll get to that in a moment. On second down, they'll return to Boswell with the run. He's going to go right this time, find some more room, and makes it out to the 48-yard line.
So now a 3rd and short, 3 yards here for the Statesman. Big play here early on in the first quarter. Statesmen get a first down, they'll be into RPI territory and a little bit of momentum. So a little pressure on the defense here to make a stop.
Cade Frucci and Kieran Paskowitz are the remaining members of the Hobart offensive line. 3rd down and 3 for Hobart at their own 48-yard line. Pass incomplete. The pass, that's an incomplete pass. Boswell picked it up on a bounce, and I think the officials were waiting to see if that was a lateral or not. It was not. It was a forward pass, so it's incomplete on 3rd down, and Hobart sends out the punt unit.
They were trying to set up a wide screen to Boswell. 3 men lined up receivers lined up wide left, and it was set up perfectly. He had a lot of room, but you know what happened is Boswell just got in a little bit of a hurry and turned his head upfield before completing the catch, and it slipped right through his hands.
Lyon out to punt again, gets it away. Fair catch signaled by Walker Sutton at the 24. So RPI gave up the ball at the 20 when they had it at the 23 for the line of scrimmage, gets it back at the 24 for their second possession. We have 8:32 to go here in the first quarter. No score, RPI versus Hobart.
Yeah, you mentioned he just got the punt away. Anthony D'Agostino, number 33, a sophomore linebacker, almost got his hands on that punt for a block. So, and now it makes me think, well, if they got that close this time, we should keep an eye on whether they try to put even more pressure on the punts as we go through the afternoon.
1st and 10, RPI at their own 24, no score. Turn around, hand off to Burnett. Burnett finds a little bit of room going off the right side, gets some more room, and he makes it out to the 30-yard line. Took what didn't look like was going to be much and made it a gain of 6.
Second and 4 for the Engineers.
RPI with a 2nd and 4. They're going to look to the sideline. Jake Kasanowski is the starting quarterback for RPI. Dylan Burnett, the running back. Wide receivers are DJ Palmer, Sterling Walker-Sutton, and Gil Goldsmith. Tight end is Shane Allison. The line is Danny Beckenhuis, Rick Demboski, Thomas O'Lawson, Adam Montero, and Luke Kolchel. 2nd and 4 at the 30-yard line. Burnett with the carry again. Gets at least 2. Made it out to the 32. They might give him the 33, actually, before he's pushed back. So RPI sticking to the ground on most of their plays, and they'll set up a short 3rd and 1.
Tackled by 42, Anthony Romano. 3rd down and 1.
Engineers 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions today. They, on their previous possession, converted 1 3rd down, but then did not convert the second one. That was an incomplete pass, which led to the punt. Hobart moving their defense around. 2 receivers on the right, tight end on both sides for RPI. Burnett in the backfield. RPI gives to Burnett, and there was no chance for that one. Who was it who got in there for Hobart? There's a flag on the play. Was that Romano, Anthony Romano?
Yeah, 42.
Anthony Romano was basically in the backfield when he got the ball.
Yeah, he was looking at Burnett all the way. I wonder if
offside.
Maybe did someone jump
Defense.
off? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that might be why he was there. Offsides against Hobart. That'll be a 1st down for RPI.
Because he was in the backfield in no time, and the refs say because he jumped too soon.
Penalty against
So
Hobart.
second first down of this
Moves the ball
afternoon
to
for the
the
Engineers. This one on a
38-yard
penalty.
line. 1st and 10, RPI.
Ball moves out to the 38-yard line. 7:01 to go, 1st quarter. No score in Troy.
Burnett now on the sideline getting a breather. Buckley now in as the running back in the backfield along with Kasanowski.
Lone receiver on the left, 2 on the right, tight end on the right. Buckley in the backfield. 1st and 10, RPI at their own 38. Turn around, hand off to Buckley, and he is stopped pretty quickly.
Well carried
Monexant
by number 20, Christian Buckley.
on the tackle.
Yeah, he and Romano come into this as their leading
for a loss
tacklers
back
on the
to the
season. You know,
36
Hobart,
yard
you mentioned Coach Isernia saying that
Second down
Hobart
and
seemed to
12.
clone players through the years, a lot of similar types. They always seem to have a really strong linebacking core.
Loss of 2 on the play on that rush by Buckley. 2nd down and 12 for RPI.
And following up on that, Monexant and Romano, 2 of their linebackers, their leading tacklers on the season, and they've been made a presence early here in this game.
Kasanowski wants to throw on 2nd and 12. It's going to be in the flat to Buckley, and Buckley's going to get pulled out of bounds near the line of scrimmage, so not much there for RPI.
He was looking deeper, a little bit deeper down the field for Palmer or Allison. They were covered, so he just went to the safety valve pass out on the right flat. But, of course, Monexant, the linebacker leading the charge for Hobart, closed the gap real quick to shut down that play.
Called a gain of 1. 3rd down and 11. Ball's at the 37 for RPI. There has not been much today to talk about in terms of offense for either squad.
That was the first pass completion, I believe.
Kasanowski throws. That is complete. Burnett has it at the 40, 45, and that's all. Stopped at the 45-yard line by Tafari Johnson.
45-yard line.
And RPI is going to send out the punt team. I would think they're going to send out the punt team on what is 4th and 3. Yes, they're headed out there.
It's 4th and
Well, you know, that play was set up pretty well. Burnett had 2 blockers in front of him, but Hobart, again, reacting to the ball quickly. Among those, one of the linebackers, Jamin Bliss, 28, came in to help bring him down at the 45.
Marcus Lenz is back at his 15, waiting for the kick. Burke high kick. Taken at the 16-yard line, lands to the 20. Flag comes out, Lenz is down to 23.
D'Agostino among those on the tackle, 33. D'Agostino making his presence known on some couple of special team plays already here in the first quarter.
We'll have to see what this flag is. It was down on the return.
I saw one of the Hobart blockers react in a frustrated way.
Blocking the back. Number 17.
Blocking the back against Hobart.
And I figured it was going against him. One of the blockers, as soon as the flag came out, he kind of jumped up and down kind of in frustration, figuring that he had been flagged for that. And, of course, it is going to go against the Statesman. So now the field position shifting a bit here in the first quarter. Remember, it was RPI was pinned down at its 10 to start its first drive. Now moving a little bit to the left, if you will, a little bit more to the north end zone, and Hobart backed up all the way to its 11 to start this drive.
Half the distance to the goal on the penalty. 4:24 to go, first quarter, no score. Grusin hands off on first down, and Denham is going to get all tied up. He'll make it out to the 15-yard line for a pickup of 3.
Tackled by number 23, Jimmy Ledlow.
Hobart has attempted just one pass so far in the first quarter. And that one was incomplete, so 0 yards passing for Cruson and the Statesman right now.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Tight end on the left. Running back is also to Cruson's left. So that is Denham in at the running back position right now. High snap. Cruson is looking left to throw, puts the ball up in the air, and it's hanging out there a long time. We've got a flag, we've got a completion.
Interception.
Oh, interception, pardon me, interception. I forgot which color was which. Intercepted by Ledlow at the 46, but there's also a flag on the play. And so the flag came out before the interception.
It did, and it did along the sideline, not where the pass was. So there may be some contact before the pass, or maybe perhaps stepping out of bounds, one of the receiver. Let's see. Here comes the call.
Sideline warning on Hobart.
Sideline violation against Hobart, so the interception counts. RPI with gets the first turnover of today's game. They've got it at their own 45. 3:36 to go here in the first quarter. No score.
Sideline warning against
Yeah,
Hobart.
that Newsom was kind of going for the home run ball, but it kind of hung up there for a while. And there was enough time for it to kind of become a jump ball between Andres Duran, number 8, the intended receiver, and Leblow, one of the deep backs for the Engineers, and number 23, Jimmy Leblow, the senior, with the interception. We mentioned RPI with a ball-hawking secondary. That's 13 interceptions now already this season.
First and 10 RPI at the 45. Kazanowski on play action gets rid of the ball before he's about to get hit, looking for Goldsmith, and that's overthrown. In fact, Goldsmith didn't know where the ball was. He never turned to look. The defender saw it, and he didn't even try for it. It was over his head.
And that was running right down the middle of the field. Meanwhile, down the right sideline, I think, Dean Ninche, number 9, had gotten behind his defender and had a step on him. If Kazanowski had seen him on the right sideline, he was open.
The Hobart defense, Kyle Spano, Alex Karpowicz, and Naz Johnson are up front. The linebackers, Drew Walsh, Anthony Romano, Peterson, Menexant, and Jamin Bliss. RPI on second down and 10 pass. That is complete. And that is Walker Sutton grabbing it for a first down at the 38-yard line.
Number 1, Sterling Walker Sutton.
And it's the third completion, but the first one to really be thrown downfield. We've seen a screen pass and sort of a safety valve backfield pass. The first one to get some positive yardage down the field, sort of vertically down the field, if you will, for Kazanowski. And now Engineers with a first down at the 43 and some momentum going.
James Mahoney is one of the cornerbacks for Hobart. He was on the tackle there, along with Chris Natumba. RPI sticks to the ground on first down, and they will go down to the 39-yard line. As Burnett is in at running back right now. He makes it down to the 39. And to finish out that defense for Hobart, Jay McCoy and Blake Hansen are the safeties. No score here, 2:38 to go in the first quarter. RPI with a 2nd and 6 at the Hobart 39-yard line. Play clock down to 10. 3 wide receiver formation. Allison's just offset a little. Kasanowski throws, gets rid of it. That is complete. Allison's got it at the 29, and he just couldn't get enough yards. He just couldn't get away from the defender, Walsh, to get another yard for the first down, so we'll set up a 3rd and 1.
Nice read by Kasanowski to find Allison. He had pressure coming from one of the outside linebackers blitz on a blitz.
RPI quickly snaps the ball, hand off to Burnett, and he's got the first down. He gets to the 30. So RPI gets the interception and now moving the ball. We have an injured Hobart player. That is Bliss, who is right now having trouble getting up. So we'll have a timeout on the field. 1:49 to go here, first quarter. No score, RPI versus Hobart.
And the Engineers again started this possession after an interception. Taking over at their own 45 and now punching it down, a couple of first downs all the way down to the 30 with 1:49 to go in the quarter. Looking at some early numbers, the one stat that jumps out at me so far, Kurt, 0 Hobart first downs. So the Engineers, who have been led by their defense all year, off to a terrific start, just bottling up the Statesman's offense. They've not allowed a completed pass. They've already intercepted a pass. And again, 0 first downs for Hobart so far here in this first quarter.
We look at these two teams. RPI through 6 games is allowing 6.2 points per game, which is low. And if you double that, you got a little bit beyond the doubling to get to Hobart allowing only 13.4, which is still low.
Right.
Bliss is helped off the field. We'll be back to action. 1st and 10, RPI at the Hobart 30. No score, 1:42 to go in the first quarter. And RPI switching up who's the quarterback. This is going to be a keeper.
Number 14, Daniel Schuster.
And he's not even on my cheat sheet. We'll be looking at here.
As he scrambles for the roster himself.
Yes. 21-yard
Daniel Schuster.
Gain of 9.
A freshman, 6'1", 190 out of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, checking in for Kasanowski. He's still in. Almost a wildcat. He's a quarterback, but it's almost one of those wildcat plays.
It is.
Snap and just head off to the right sideline. He's doing it again here.
Yeah, RPI stacked the right side, and Schuster stayed in at quarterback, took the snap, and he's got a first down to the 18-yard line. So the first run, if I wasn't clear on that, he made it 9 yards down to the 21, and then the second one, they've got another first down.
So and Schuster staying in again.
Yeah, so RPI giving Hobart a very different look here.
And quick snaps, not allowing them to adjust very to what they're seeing at the line of scrimmage.
It'll be 1st and 10 RPI at the Hobart 18 in the red zone. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter, no score. Now RPI is going to split Hughes out to the left. Schuster has trouble with the ball, loses it, and is covered by the Statesman. And so RPI gives up a fumble.
Big turnover there. Schuster had 2 strong runs to the right. This time he was going to go to the left, but what happened was
on the recovery,
he took off before he had the ball. The snap was to him. He hit his hand. It hit his hands, but his body and his head was already turning to the left to make the run, and he never completely possessed the ball. Clanked off of his right hand down on the ground, and he wasn't able to recover in time to make up for the fumble. And instead, it's the first turnover for RPI. Now turnovers are even, 1 apiece here in the first quarter, and still no score probably here, the last play of the first quarter.
I think it was Jack Daly on the recovery for Hobart. The Statesmen are going to run left on first down.
Denham on the carry.
Denham on the carry. Maybe
2 yards.
Maybe 2 yards.
2 yards, I was going to say, yes.
And 20 seconds, probably not going to be another snap. It won't be. Hobart's offense now heading to the sideline. So we're going to get into the first quarter. Here in Troy, no score, RPI and Hobart.
Mistakes both ways.
The end of the first quarter.
but nobody able to capitalize on anything. RPI with an interception. They were driving down towards the goal line and then fumbled it after they got into the red zone and gave Hobart the ball, which is where they have it now. Which will be a 2nd and 8 on their own 25 as the teams will switch sides.
At RPI Athletics.
Yeah, tough break there for the Engineers. They had a lot of momentum on that possession. Had started at their own 45 and was inside the 20 when Schuster, after 2 good running plays, was going for a 3rd straight one, but got a little anxious and took off for the left side before he had the snap from in the shotgun formation, fumbled it. Hobart recovers at its 23, and now the 2 sides switching. Hobart now will be going from right to left. No real wind to speak of, maybe a little bit behind Hobart now, but nothing really that should make much of a difference.
RPI's defense is on the field. Just to give you their lineup: Amanchi Conquo, Nate Sicard, and Josh Cohen are up front. CJ Schumacher, Cole McGrath, Joe Deptula, and Connor Noyes in the middle. CJ Lyons and Carlos Davis are the cornerbacks, and Spencer Brockdorf and Jimmy Leblow, who had the interception, they are the safeties.
They gave up no first downs and only 21 total yards in that first quarter, the RPI defense.
Start of the second quarter, Hobart going right to left, RPI left to right across your radio dial. This is a direct snap to Boswell, and he goes right, then heads upfield, and he gets out to about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, wildcat formation there for Hobart as Boswell was lined up at quarterback and took the snap and off to the right side.
3rd down and 2.
So Hobart giving RPI some different looks. Kirsten comes back into the game, I believe. Yes. Hobart looking at a 3rd and 2 at their own 31. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. There's Boswell in the backfield. Kirsten will pitch to Boswell. Boswell has to get by. One man does. The second one can't make it downfield. He's pushed out of bounds at the 32.
Knocked out of bounds by number
Carlos Davis got him out of bounds, and he needed to get to the 33.
Leblow, one of the safety men, came crashing through and got to Boswell in the backfield, but Boswell used the stiff arm to evade Leblow and avoid a loss and get right short of the first down. Now 4th and 1, and they might try to draw the Engineers off sides, but otherwise you're not going to see them go for it on 4th down here in a game that you expect to be low scoring. You're not going to probably want to take a chance so deep in your own territory.
Hobart had to get the 11th guy out there. They only had 10 for the punt team, and we've got a whistle. Was a timeout called? Whistle before the play ended, so the play doesn't count. I'm not sure, was this a timeout? Doesn't look like it. There seems to be the referees going over talking on the other side of the field. You've got Ken DeWall, the head coach for Hobart over there. Things look like they're squared away now, so that play didn't count. Still 4th and 1. Lyon is back, and it's Hobart's in the punt formation. Walker Sutton to receive the kick. Kick goes to the 32, takes an RPI bounce, now a Hobart bounce, and it's going to roll to the 25, the 24. RPI will take over at their own 24-yard line. 13:15 to go here in the first half, no score.
Their own 24-yard line.
We'll see if the Engineers offense can recover some of that momentum they had on that last drive. They had started at their own 45, got down to the 18, really chugging along before the fumble killed the drive. Best drive so far of the afternoon for either team. Now they're back in their own territory all the way at the 24.
1st and 10 for the Engineers. Kazanowski back in at quarterback. Single receivers each side, 1 man, 2 men in the backfield, actually. And RPI is going to hand off to Burnett, and Burnett forward progress. He's going to get pushed forward a little bit, and he's going to get stopped at the 26.
Hobart has done a good job of bottling up Burnett in the run game so far. I mean, the Engineers have been really trying to establish that.
Tackled by
But right now they've just got 13
gain of 2.
attempts for 37 yards. That's not even 3 yards a carry. And they've really been keying on Burnett as well. They know he's going to get the ball a lot, and they've got a lot of linebackers kind of just keying on him and crashing through the line as soon as the snap goes off.
2nd down and 8. Kazaknowski slings one along the sidelines. He was looking for Walker Sutton along the far sideline, but it was out of bounds, not catchable in the field of play, and it's incomplete.
3rd down and 8.
Yeah, a little bit behind and a little bit back shoulder. It was the far sideline, the left sideline, and Walker Sutton saw it was behind him and tried to wheel around to see if he could be in any kind of position to make a catch, but it was well out of bounds.
RPI in a 3rd and 8 in what has clearly begun here in Troy as a defensive struggle. 2 receivers each side. And RPI just moved. It's going to be 3rd and 13.
There was a lot of movement on the Hobart side. They were switching personnel left and right, kind of wide and tight. And
offense, number 73.
I don't know if that was a distraction,
5-yard
but
penalty.
the right tackle
Still 3rd down.
on RPI
False start
moved
penalty
ahead of
against
time.
the Engineers.
Koschel.
We'll move the ball back to the 21.
A 3rd and long just became 3rd and
13.
longer. 3rd and 13 as RPI is back at the 21. 3 receivers, man in the slot left, 1 running back. RPI is going to go to Burnett. Burnett to the 25 and gets tripped up as he went across the 25. Somersaults to the 27, but that's well short of a 1st down, and RPI will be punting.
Gain of 6.
I believe that might have been
3rd down
Kevin
and
Hughes,
7.
number 6, that was in on the carry that time for the Engineers, seeing his first action.
Anderson Birkin to punt for the Engineers.
But it'll still be 4th and long for RPI.
Marcus
As we mentioned, this is going to be a defensive-dominated game, and so punting is going to be critical, how well you can move the ball down the field here.
Burke, nice high kick, taken at the 32 and not getting any farther than that as Garrett came in and tackled Lenz before he had any chance to head upfield, and Hobart will have it at their own 32-yard line. 11:49 to go in the 1st half, no score.
Yeah, that was Cortez Garrett. He's a freshman defensive back, 6'1", 185 out of Dameron, Maryland, and just made the dive at the receiver's ankles and held on to him to bring him down at the 32.
Hobart 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Let's see if Hobart's offense can do anything. This is their 5th possession, 3 punts and an INT on the previous 4.
They've got 0 first downs so far this afternoon.
Cruson wants to throw. Puts it up along the far side, and the defensive back and receiver were really pushing at each other back there. It was Davis on the coverage. It goes incomplete.
Intended for number 9.
Yeah, Rain Daramola was the receiver. The ball kind of hung up in the air, and Davis at first had his back to the quarterback but could read the receiver's eyes and saw that it was going to be underthrown. He wheeled around to get a look at it, made a diving attempt for an interception, but the ball crashes to the ground for an incompletion. Hobart is not only not has a first down, but no completions, pass completions so far this afternoon.
2nd and 10 for the Statesmen. Cruson looking left, sees nothing, looks right, pass, that is complete, and forward progress will actually lose them some yards. They'll be back at the 1 yard. They'll be back at the 31 on the forward progress.
Joe Deptula, one of the linebackers for the Engineers, read that play, came up quickly, made the stop at the 31. He's one of their leaders on defense. He was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Liberty League Defensive Players of the Week last week.
Did you see who caught the pass? He got hit so quickly I never saw a number.
I believe, let me double check my roster here. I think that might have been number 7, Bartosik, but I have to double check again.
Third down and 11, back at the 31 for Hobart. Cruson, hands off, Denham goes right, and Denham's going to get stopped at the 29-yard line, and Hobart's going to punt again.
Yeah, it was Bartasek, number 7 on the one reception for a total of -1 yards.
Fourth and 8 from the 34-yard line. Walker Sutton.
Lyon out to kick.
Lyon.
This will be punt number 4.
39 yards of kick so far.
Boots it away, close to getting tipped. Walker Sutton lets it roll out of bounds. RPI will take it at their own 30-yard line. 10:08 to go first half, and no score in Troy.
35-yard punt, no return.
One thing that's interesting
RPI
that
takes over.
Lyon, the punter for Hobart, seems to be doing is just trying to keep the ball away from Walker Sutton on any kind of punt return. That one, he looked like he angled definitely to the left, got it to the left sideline. Earlier, he hit one to the right. It seems like they're kind of very conscientious of not giving Walker Sutton a chance to return a punt here.
First and 10, RPI at their own 30. A game in search of a score. Kazagnowski throwing for Walker Sutton, and he seemed surprised by that, and it goes incomplete.
A mix-up. Did Kazagnowski deliver it a little too fast, or did Walker Sutton not turn around quickly enough? But like you said, he was not turned around when the ball was on him, and he couldn't adjust in time to make the catch.
Incomplete on first down. Second and 10, RPI at their own 30. 3 receivers, man in the slot to the right. Kazagnowski is out of the shotgun. Running back next to him. And he's going to hand off to Burnett. Burnett's coming towards the sideline, and he's going to be down at the 35, 36. So call it the 36-yard line. So a pickup of 6 to make it 3rd and 4.
Tackled by
Wind is picking up here in Troy.
Yeah, you might be able to hear it in the microphones. It's now coming from the south, which means it's in RPI's face here in the second quarter. They're moving left to right, which is north to south, if you're familiar with the field here on the Troy campus.
9.5 to go here in the first half. All zeros on the scoreboard. 3rd down and 4, RPI at their own 36. 4 wide out formation. Kazagnowski looks left, right, left, over the middle, complete, and is it a first down? Yes, it will be a first down. Extra effort by Burnett. He got hit right near the 40, retreated 1 yard, and then is able to get free, gets a couple of yards, out to the 42, and it's a first down RPI.
Yeah, terrific effort by Burnett, because it was Romano, one of the linebackers, who came flying in with a shoulder tackle at about the 38, but Burnett stayed on his feet and got the first down.
Quick snap, Burnett with the ball, and he's going to go out of bounds short of the 45 on the near sideline. Provenzano forced him out of bounds.
6 first downs now for the Engineers. None. Again, no first down so far in this first half for Hobart. Burnett now up to 41 yards rushing for the Engineers. He leads all the players here this afternoon.
3 receivers left, 1 right. 2nd and 7 at the 45 for RPI. Different running back in there. He's going to take the pass completion. That is Ming. Ming caught it, and he only gets a yard. Ming's out to the 46.
Yeah, trying to set up a screen there, halfback screen on the left side, but again, Hobart's got a really good reactive defense. Their linebackers really see the ball and move quickly to the ball once it's in flight, and Ming had nowhere to go on that one.
Daly in on the tackle for Hobart, and that'll make it 3rd and 6. Yep, that's right, 3rd and 6 at the 46.
Got a trips lineup on the right side, 3 receivers stacked.
Kazagnowski's looking in that direction. Doesn't see anything. Now he's going to run with the ball. He's got room. He's going to cross to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Kazagnowski runs out of bounds to the 35. That's a first down.
Well, terrific read by Kazagnowski. As we said, he had 3 wide receivers to the right, and that's where he was looking to go. And that's where the defense went, and it flowed that way as well. As soon as he saw it was stacked up, he just took off to the left, and he had 10, 15 yards of open ground before anyone got near him.
7:15 to go, first half. No score. RPI, 1st and 10 at the Hobart 35. They made it down to the 18 on a previous drive, but suffered a fumble. Unforced error in that situation. Burnett takes the carry on 1st down and makes it almost to the 30-yard line.
Number 5, Dylan Burnett on the carry.
So RPI picking up 5.
92, Karpelage. It's a gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5.
Allison, the tight end's on the right. 1 receiver on the left, 2 on the right. Burnett in the backfield for Kazagnowski. Now RPI is going to look over to the sidelines. This is normal for them. You get lined up and then get unlined up. Five seconds on the play clock. Kazagnowski hands off to Burnett. Moves to his left. Can't get an opening, though. It looked like there was a little bit of room there, and then it just got closed off.
Peterson Monoxent. Again, we've said his name a lot already in this first half. One of the outside linebackers, grabbing Burnett from behind.
3rd down and 3.
To keep him from getting anywhere near the 1st down marker.
RPI with another 3rd down, 3rd and 3. You got to think this is 4-down territory. Ball's on the 28-yard line. Two receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Kazagnowski looking left, throws, intercepted. The receiver didn't even know the ball was there. Intercepted by the Statesman. And it looks to me like that was Diallo who picked that one off for Hobart.
Hobart takes over.
So Diallo with the interception at the 13-yard line of Hobart, and RPI turns it over for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, Alessio Calcagni, 83, was the intended receiver. He got tangled up with Diallo along that left sideline and looked like he kind of, lost his footing for a second, and he never turned around for the ball. But Diallo had a read on it. He turned around and was right there, right in his numbers to make the catch for the interception. So 2nd time this afternoon that RPI has had a long, sustained drive, seeming like they're moving in towards the goal line, and turn it over.
Hobart on 1st down, flag comes out as the rush goes right and makes it out to about the 16-yard line. But I don't think this is going to count.
Engineers have been the team that's certainly moved the ball a lot better on offense.
Holding.
2 long
offense,
drives.
Number 73.
But both of them ending in turnovers.
That is referee Lance Daffler telling us that it's a holding call against Hobart.
This is to the goal. Replay, 1st down.
So Hobart gets the down back, but the ball is going to go to the 6-yard line. We have 5:19 to go first half, no score.
1st down.
And the other number that jumps out at you, again, 0 first downs for Hobart. Played a quarter and a half. It's a quarter and 3/4. And they still have 0 first downs. They only have 31 yards rushing and a total of -1 receiving yards so far. Statesmen have completed just 1 pass, and that went for a loss of 1 yard.
So stiff wind right now here in Troy as Hobart has a 1st and 17. And handoff. That'll be decked to the 2-yard line. That was Denham on the carry?
Yeah, and C.J. Shoemaker, one of the outside linebackers, he was lined up on the defensive left, sort of offensive right, and he was just keying on Denham, and he was all over him. As soon as Denham got the handoff, there was nowhere to go. Shoemaker kind of coming over the top to make the tackle way back at the 2. So now crucial play here. 2nd down for Hobart, backed up all the way at its 2-yard line. Cruson lined up about 5 yards deep in the end zone.
It's 2nd and 21. Yeah, so Cruson's out of the shotgun, and he hands off, and Denham is able to get some yards. He'll get out about to the 4.5 maybe.
Boy, Josh Cohen, 97, one of the frontline defenders, broke through the line and probably had thoughts of safety on his mind there as he was chasing Denham in the end zone, but Denham got a block and got out to the 4.
Third down and 19.
Third and 19 as the ball's at the 4-yard line. They need to make it out to the 23 for a first down. Two receivers left, one to the right. Person is in the end zone as he is in the shotgun. Person wants to throw, gets the ball away, and it's overthrown. Intended on the near side for Daramola, but it's overthrown, incomplete, and 4th and 19 at the 4. Hobart is going to punt.
Hammering this point here in the first half, but it deserves to be hammered. Hobart 0 first downs so far in this ball game. They've completed one pass all day so far for -1 yards. And RPI now pinning them back. They'll have to punt. Line of scrimmage is their own 4. The punter back in the shadows of the south end zone to receive this snap.
Lion is about 1 yard in the field of play. High snap. He gets it, kicks it away quickly. He had to. He was under pressure. Walker Sutton allows the ball to bounce. It takes a Hobart bounce. It went from about the 46 maybe of Hobart to the 43 of RPI. We have 3:26 left to go in the first quarter. RPI gets the ball back, but no score.
We know we should give almost a, if you were giving a first half MVP or best player for each team right now, you'd have to consider Vicente Lyon, the punter for Hobart, as one of their best weapons. He's had a terrific game. He's been out there a lot, and he's almost had a couple of punts blocked. That time there was a high snap. He's standing 1 yard from the end line. He gets off a quick kick, and he gets it all the way out across the 50 to the RPI 43. That's a terrific play by the punter, Vicente Lyon.
First and 10, RPI at the 43. Burnett gets caught in the backfield. He's going down for a loss. Karpowicz got in there, grabbed him, and stops him at the 42 for a loss of 1.
Karpowicz on the tackle. Second and 11.
So RPI defense playing outstanding today. The problem? They don't have any points, the offense.
Well, turnovers, right? I mean, they've had 2 really good drives. One ended in a fumble, one in an interception. Both times where it seemed like RPI had all the momentum and we're ready to make the first score of the afternoon.
Second and 11. Kazagnowski scanning the field. In trouble, gets away from that, rolls to his left, still in trouble. Now he's going to go to the right, still running around out there, no flags. Kazagnowski's going to run with it himself, and now he's going to step out at the 46. So he turns a lot of trouble into a +3.
Credit Kazagnowski for staying alive. He almost looked like a Hobart defender had a hand on him not once, twice, but 3 times, and he was able to get away for a net gain on that. Also, terrific coverage in the secondary by Hobart. They had everyone blanketed. That's why Kazagnowski had no one to throw to.
Third down and 7 at the 46 for RPI. 2 receivers each side. Burnett in the backfield. Kazagnowski wants to throw. Throwing into the wind. Pass. That is complete, but won't be a first down. Taken by Ninchi, and he stopped at the 48. And it'll be 4th down for RPI.
Jay McCoy, a senior free safety, one of their leading tacklers, with a terrific play there to catch Ninchi. He was behind him, and he dove and grappled him around the knees or the ankles and brought him down at the 48. And so RPI is going to have to punt it away back to Hobart. Going to be punting into the wind here.
Yeah,
so we'll see if that affects anything.
If you're RPI, you want to punt, you want to snap this ball when there's 1 second left. You want to take as much time off the clock.
Or maybe even take a penalty here?
No, they're going to take a timeout.
Oh, timeout, okay.
RPI is going to take a timeout. Yeah, you want
timeout.
RPI. You've got the risk here of just a bad kick simply from the wind. For nothing else, just the wind might put you in a bad position, so you want as much time off the clock if Hobart gets the ball.
RPI Football would like to thank the following sponsors: Moe's, BSN Sports, the Hilton Garden Inn,
and a lot riding on this, Kurt. I mean, like you say, if it's a bad punt,
Rensselaer Alumni Association.
Hobart conceivably can at least take a shot downfield in the last minute here. If it's a really good punt, say you pin Hobart way back at, well, I don't know, inside the 20 or inside the 10. You've got 2 timeouts left. Do you, if you're RPI, do you then try to just stop the clock on each play and make something happen in the final second? So really, it's just in some ways just a punt, but there is a lot riding on this punt with just 1:21 to go in the first half and no score so far in this game.
Burke back to kick. Lenz is at his 10 to receive, but with this wind, I don't think it's going to get to the 10.
It has really picked up. It was non-existent when we kicked off here.
Here's the kick, and fair catch, 16. That was a good kick.
Yeah.
Taken at the 16 by Lenz. So Hobart has it there with 1:15 to go. They've got the ball at their own 16-yard line.
41 yards into the wind on that punt.
At their own 16-yard line.
So as Yancey was talking about earlier, it's possible the punters are the most important players so far today.
Certainly for Hobart. I mean, again, their offense has been bottled up. No first downs, just 1 completed pass. And so with a minute 15, you would think they're just going to run out the ball, but I don't know. Maybe they take a shot here. Maybe, oh, look, we've got the running back lined up at quarterback.
Boswell, the ball goes past him towards the end zone. It's in the end zone and knocked out of the end zone. That's a safety. RPI takes a 2-0 lead. The snap went past Boswell. He tried to pick it up near the goal line. He had trouble with it, and at that point, the result is best for Hobart. At that point, because if he had picked it up near there, he might have been stopped at the 1, and they would have had to run more plays. Instead, it goes out the end zone. It's a safety. RPI with the 2-0 lead.
Well, let's break down that play in slow motion. First of all, what happened was, again, it's a wildcat formation where Boswell, the fullback, is back there to receive a direct snap. But you know what happened, Kurt? The snap was too early. He wasn't ready for it. He was looking to the left side of the line when all of a sudden, here comes the ball. And it kind of clanked off of his right hand. It started to roll towards the end zone. And at that point, well, you know, Boswell, unfortunately, the young man panicked a bit. He had time to pick it up and get out of the end zone. The ball was right at the, you know, about a yard below, or rather a yard into the end zone, and he had time to pick it up. But at this point, he was not looking down at the ball. He was looking at all these RPI defenders closing in on him, and he picked it up and he dropped it. And he picked it up again and kind of dropped it again. And by that time, the defense closed in on him, made a hit, and the impact of the hit just skidded the ball out the back end of the end zone into the shadows of the south end zone for 2 points. Probably the most fitting play of this entire first half, where neither offense, well, certainly the Hobart offense, hasn't gotten anything going. It's been dominated by defense, and so fittingly, the first play is a safety caused by a mistake and a hustling defense.
Yeah, so we may disagree a bit here. I think once the ball is at the goal line and loose, if you're back there, your best bet is to take the safety. I think that's what you should be doing.
It may be. I'm just saying that he wasn't. What happened was he looked up.
The kickoff goes back towards the end zone, and it just barely gets in the end zone for a touchback. So Hobart decided to kick from a tee and not do a punt from the 20-yard line with the wind, and RPI allowed the ball, Walker Sutton allowed the ball just to barely get to the end zone for a touchback to the 25-yard line. So that was the kickoff. We can talk about the safety.
Yeah, no, I don't know that we're disagreeing. What I'm saying is that he had time to pick up the ball, and he was trying to pick up the ball. But what happened was, you could see that his head was not down, his eyes were not on the ball, his hands were down, but his eyes were looking up at the RPI defenders, and that's why he failed to pick it up 1 yard deep into the end zone. And after he did that, the defense was all over him and crashed into him, and the ball skidded out the back of the end zone. I think if he had just looked down at the ball and picked it up, he might have gotten out of the end zone at that point. That's what he was trying to do.
RPI first and 10 at the 25. Burnett takes a handoff, goes left. Tackled at the 31-yard line. We're going to hit 1 minute to go in this first half, and now RPI taking a timeout. No, Hobart is taking a timeout.
42.
Okay. 55 seconds left in the first half. Hobart takes a timeout. 2-0. RPI leads. You don't get to say 2-0 in football very often for a score.
It's making me think about the baseball playoffs that are ongoing this weekend. It's like a Yankees Guardians game or something, or Phillies Braves. Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the Jets game, because the Jets took a 2-0 lead. They took a 2-0 lead on Miami
last weekend. That's right. and went on to give you long-suffering Jets fans a win.
You don't have to put long-suffering in front of Jets fans. That's just assumed. Everybody knows that. I'll walk around and see somebody with Jets paraphernalia. I don't have to think of long-suffering. I just know it. I don't even have to look at the face. I just know it. So Hobart took a timeout. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. 58 seconds they're going to put on the clock now, not 55, 58. 2-0 RPI leads. RPI 2nd and 4 at the Engineer 31-yard line. Kazagnowski fakes the handoff, puts the ball up in the air, looking for Walker Sutton downfield, and that's knocked away by the defense.
Kazagnowski's pass is
that was Diallo who knocked that away. I'm not sure Walker Sutton would have caught it anyway, but Diallo made sure he didn't.
I don't think he would have. A lot of contact between the two guys. RPI fans, you can hear them below us, and maybe the bench kind of wanting a pass interference penalty, but probably honestly best just to let that one go. It wasn't something that there was contact, but it really didn't affect the outcome, I don't think.
Clock stops with 52 seconds left. So it'll be 3rd and 4 RPI. RPI tight to the line this time. Hand off to Burnett. Burnett's got a first down, and it looked like he might have been able to break it, but Hansen got a hand on him and took him down. It's a first down out to the 42.
Yeah, Blake Hansen maybe stopped a touchdown there.
Okay, so RPI quickly to the line, hand off to Burnett again, straight up the middle.
Burnett on the carry.
He's going to be stopped at the 46. 35 seconds left, clock still running. Technically, Hobart had too many men on the field. One guy didn't get off, at least one, maybe 2 before the snap, but they were close. So I'm okay. I think the officials were okay with that one. Pass on, nope, incomplete. It looked like it was going to be complete on 2nd down, but it goes incomplete, and now it's going to be 3rd and 6.
A quick 7-and-out pass to Sterling Walker, but Kazagnowski just delivered that way too low on the left sideline. Sterling Walker tried to make a diving attempt, got his hands on the ball, had it for a split second, but as soon as his shoulders hit the ground, the ball went flying into the sideline.
So it's 3rd and 6 RPI at the 46, 16 seconds left in the half. RPI, play action. Kazagnowski, as has been a lot today, having trouble finding somebody open and overthrows everybody on 3rd and 6. And it'll go to 4th down now here in Troy.
Goldsmith, the intended receiver, down at the Hobart 40, and he had 2 steps on the defensive back there, but the ball just airmailed over everybody.
So RPI with 8 seconds left on the 4th and 6 will send out the punt team.
And I gotta expect here that Hobart's just going to send everybody here.
No, looks like they're going to keep lying back.
Well, I'd still got to imagine they're going to just try to block this. I don't see any point in not trying to at this stage.
I agree. Burke gets the kickoff. It bounces, and that'll be it for the half once RPI downs this. RPI, it's going to look good on the stat sheet. The kick is down to the 6-yard line, but it doesn't matter because the half is over. 2-0. RPI leads after 1 half.
Wow, a defensive struggle as we predicted kind of in the pregame opening. And also what we talked about is these two teams play white knucklers. Every year they get together, it seems like it's a 1-score game. Sometimes it's an overtime game. Sometimes it's a 1-point game. We've seen that all through the rivalry of these over the last couple of decades with Hobart and RPI, and that's what we've got so far in the first half here in Troy. Again, your halftime score, RPI 2, Hobart 0. The main stat that has jumped out at me, Kurt, is that Hobart still has no first downs on offense in the first half. That tells you how good this RPI defense is. The Hobart's had only 1 pass completion, and it went for -1 yards. On the other side, RPI's got to be kind of frustrated because they moved the ball offensively. They've had a couple of good drives, and they've ended in turnovers deep into Hobart territory. They could be a little bit more comfortable than just 2-0 here. So, but that's what they're looking at. So, and on the flip side of that, of course, is Hobart. If you look at this, and you're the Statesman, you really got outplayed most of the first half. You couldn't do anything on offense, and yet you go into the locker room and you're telling your folks you're down 2 points. all we need is one score, and we're ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 or 0. It matters if you don't get anything, but after that, if you scored something, it doesn't matter the 2 if you at least score something.
Right. So Hobart's got to look at this as like, hey, we've weathered a pretty bad first half. All we've got to do is do something here in the second half. But we'll see. Again, a defensive struggle. No surprise when an RPI gets together with Hobart.
And we will take a break and run you down what's been going on in Liberty League football and come back for the second half. The score here after one half in Troy, it is RPI 2 and Hobart nothing. And you're listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI.
Says, it's just cancer, get over it.
Or, snap out of it, it's just diabetes.
And who would ever say, it's nothing serious, it's just heart disease?
But you do hear those words about people living with another serious illness.
It's called depression, and it threatens the lives of more than 15 million Americans.
Like heart disease, its symptoms can be misleading.
Like diabetes, it's biologically based.
And, like cancer, it can be fatal.
So what we should say is what doctors, medical professionals, and other experts say. Depression can be treated.
Which is why those who have overcome it say, getting treatment is like getting your life back.
Depression is real, but so is hope. Learn more at depressionisreal.org.
Supported by a coalition of mental health organizations, including the American Psychiatric Foundation and the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance.
There's a natural resource that exists everywhere on the planet which could benefit all of civilization, yet it's been largely ignored. That resource is women. At CARE, we found in country after country that empowering women is one of the fastest ways to help end poverty.
I am powerful.
I am powerful. She has the power to change her world. You have the power to help her do it. Call 1-800-521-CARE or visit care.org.
How's your lunch?
Good, Dad, but not as good as the sandwiches you used to make.
Really?
Sure. Remember how you'd melt the cheese first and dry the pickles on a paper towel so they didn't make the bread soggy? And then you'd cut it into 4 pieces with no crust?
I did all that.
Geez, Dad. How would anyone forget something like that?
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Oh, that was a great effort.
Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is the back home of
Engineer football. 91.5 FM, WRPI.
You can drive
Troy.
away.
Mom, Dad, I'm in 8th grade now. That means those years of peer pressure are way behind me. From here on out, it's all about good grades and living up to your totally realistic expectations. Alcohol is probably the last thing on my mind. Like you said, I'm too young to drink. When I'm with my friends, all we talk about are current events and boy bands. We're definitely not curious about what alcohol tastes like, or why the older kids drink. And do I notice when you have a drink at dinner? Of course not. Just like I haven't noticed where you keep the alcohol.
Now, fans, please
and
welcome.
If the opportunity arises to talk to me about drinking, you should definitely continue to avoid it. And if you do bring it up, just remind me that I'm too young. That'll probably do the trick.
Real kids are curious about alcohol. 40% try it by the 8th grade. Start a real conversation at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. Talk early, talk often, get others involved. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
After I came home from the war, I lost everything. My job, my family. But this is where I started to put my life back together.
A few weeks ago, my husband of 47 years had a stroke. I'm staying.
the RPI cheer team. Let's welcome the RPI Pep Band.
We are live with you once more here at the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, where we are nearing the start of half number 2 between RPI and Hobart in Liberty League football action. The score at the end of one half has RPI leading Hobart 2-0.
Sounding like just Premier Soccer League score, yes. Yeah.
My name is Kurt Studd. I'm here with Yancey Roy. We're bringing you all the action live on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Before we start the second half, we would like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of Engineer football, hockey, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and if we're sending something out, we'll send it to you on that feed. That is WRPI.org. And what are the big stats from that first half, Yancey?
Well, a number of them jump out at you. It's pointing to the dominance of RPI's defense and so far the futility of Hobart's offense. And chiefly among those is first downs. Hobart doesn't have a first down. No first downs in the first half for the Statesmen. Also, total yards, they've been held to 11 total yards. That's right, 11 total yards in the first half, 12 rushing, minus 1 yard receiving. Now, part of that rushing total was knocked down a bit by that errant snap that led to the safety, the one score in this game. That was a 16-yard loss on that play, which is part of why their total rushing yards is just 12. RPI's offense better, although they haven't put in a score yet. They've got 8 first downs. They've got 102 rushing yards.
We'll kick off for Hobart.
Also leading in the passing game as well. They have 7 completions for 35 yards, 137 total yards.
And it'll be a touchback as Hobart was kicking off to RPI. Hobart won the toss, took the ball in the first half. RPI gets the ball in the second half, and they'll start out at their own 25-yard line.
They're going to be going left to right, which means going into the wind here in the third quarter. Of course, that means they'll have it in the fourth quarter. And to set the uniforms again real quickly here, RPI in its home, black and white, black jerseys, white numbers, white pants, black helmets with the red RPI on the side. Hobart on its road, orange and white. White jerseys, orange numbers, orange pants, orange helmets with the H on the side of the helmet.
First and 10, RPI at their own 25. Again, they're going to bunch up again like they did late in the first half, and it's going to be a handoff to Burnett, and he gets 3 out to the 28-yard line going to the right.
And Engineers combined for 102 rushing yards in that first half. Of course, leading the way was Dylan Burnett, their featured back
of 3
all year.
Second down and 7.
He also led them in receiving with 14 yards.
RPI second and 7 at their own 28 with that 2-0 lead.
71 total rushing yards for Burnett. I was looking for that figure, didn't have it immediately, but it was 71 rushing yards in the first half.
2 wideouts to the right. RPI running what looked like a slow-motion play. Pass complete to Walker Sutton at the 45, and he drags some guys with him out towards the 50 and into the Hobart side of the field to the 49.
Well, how about that for some trickeration? You said slow motion. It looked like Kazanowski and Burnett faking a handoff to the right, but almost like stopping, moving very slowly. And then all of a sudden, Kazanowski spins, looks to his right, and there was Walker Sutton at midfield ready to make the catch.
First and 10, RPI at the Hobart 49-yard line. Burnett with the carry, goes up the middle, and he stopped just short of the 46.
And just to complete the description of that last play, Walker Sutton was down the right sideline, and he sprinted out, went all the way down to about the Hobart 45, and then turned and came back towards the ball, making the catch around the 50.
Second down and 7.
13:35 to go third quarter. RPI second and 7 at the 46, up 2-0. Another give to Burnett. Burnett breaks through the line initially and gets out to the 42.
Inside the 45-yard line.
Among those on the tackle, Peterson Monexent. He's said his name all first half. He led all defensive players with 9 tackles in the first half.
Third down and 3 at the Hobart 42-yard line.
Here.
RPI with a 3rd and 3. They'll spread it out this time. Burnett stays in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Allison, the tight ends, on the right. As RPI's got a 3rd and 3, running out of time. 1 second left on the play clock. They'll snap it. Kazanowski throws. That is complete to the right side, and that'll be a first down. Goldsmith got it. He was hit initially, got away from the hit, and then got enough yards for the first down to 37.
Yeah, nice little shimmy move by Goldsmith because Hansen, the free safety, was all over him at about the 42-43, which would have been short of the first down, but he just kind of shook him to the left and then the right and ends up getting down to the 37 for a first down.
RPI up 2-0. They'll go to Burnett again. This time they won't be as fortunate as he ran into a wall. Walsh was the first person to grab him by the legs, and he didn't get any yards.
Tackled by 28 Bliss.
So RPI trying to do something on the first possession of this second half. Up 2-0.
It's a loss of 1.
A safety late in the first quarter. First half. I was going to say first. Yes, with 1:08 left to go in the first half, RPI got the safety. 2nd and 11. Kazanowski is going to roll out to his right, rolling out, throws it away. Had no intention of that being caught in the field of play.
Jamin Bliss, one of their outside linebackers, was just chasing down Kazanowski from behind and almost caught him for a sack. Kazanowski just unloading the ball down the right sideline to get rid of it. So 3rd and long for the Engineers here in their first possession of the second half.
As much as we've talked about RPI just shutting down Hobart's offense, remember, Hobart's defense has shut down RPI's offense.
Yeah, RPI's moved the ball, has a lot of total yardage, but no offensive scores.
The stats may not look as good, but what's on the scoreboard for the Hobart defense is excellent. Kazanowski on 3rd and short overthrows his receiver so much that Walker Sutton, I think, had stopped around the 25 and the ball went down to the 10 and it was incomplete.
Well, total miscommunication there because Kazanowski thought it was a sideline route all the way and Walker Sutton ran it as if it was a 15-yard and out because, as you said, he stopped around the 24 and cut to the sideline. The ball was delivered all the way down at about the 5.
Number 6, Marcus Lenz.
Landing on a patch of ground at about the 5 in the sideline. So 4th down and RPI will punt.
It's 4th and 11. 4th and 11. Burr comes out to punt into the wind. Goes to the left and fielded by It was fielded by Lenz on the run. And he's going to run up to, where are they going to put him out of bounds? They're going to put him out at the 30, at the 29. So not a lot of yards there for RPI in the punt, maybe 10.
Well, that was a good read by Marcus Lenz. That ball was held up by the wind, and for a second you thought he was just going to let it bounce, but seeing it was just hanging up there, he sprinted to the ball, caught it at maybe the 13 or so on the fly, on the full run, and ends up bringing it all the way back out to the 29, getting it out of the shadow of the end zone.
Hobart's first possession of this second half, 1st and 10. Ground game for the Statesmen, gets them a yard.
Number 2, Denham.
Yeah, it's Denham.
Okay.
was on the run. He had a total of 14 yards rushing in the first half. Boswell had -2. Of course, a good chunk of that was because he was the guy who got, credit, if you will, for that 16-yard loss on what led to the safety.
2nd down and 9. A pickup of 1 for Denham on that play. 3 wide receiver formation, tight end on the left for Hobart. Cruson wants to throw, under pressure, gets it away to Denham. He's going to get caught behind the line of scrimmage, and that's a loss of 3.
Boy, big play by C.J. Shoemaker. They were trying to set up a screen, and he was being blocked, and he just pushed aside the blocker, and he ends up catching Denham behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
2 on the play.
Hobart now has completed 2 passes on the afternoon, and both of them have been for minus yards.
Third down and 12 for the Statesmen. Still in search of their first down of the day. 3 wide out formation. Cruson wants to throw under pressure, and he throws it away on 3rd down.
Amici Conquo coming from Cruson's right side like a freight train.
4th and 12.
Just broke through the line, and Newsom Cruson rather, running for his life and just flung that
line.
one out to the right sideline, the far sideline, and into the Hobart
Ryan
bench, really. And we'll say it again. We've been hammering this point all through the first half. Still 0 first downs for the Hobart offense. And we're 5 minutes into the second half here.
Lyon out to punt with the wind. And I don't know how that wasn't blocked. Good kick. It's going to take a Hobart bounce from the 25 to the 5 and down, and it's in the end zone. That'll be a touchback. The ball actually kept hopping so well, they couldn't get to it in time, and by the time it got covered, the players slid into the end zone with the ball.
That, as it was rolling at about the 15 and the 10, you thought, I guess Hobart's going to be able to cover this inside the 10, and it just had so much momentum on the roll that their defenders, or rather their punt coverage team, could not catch up with it. Kind of a lucky break there for RPI. I thought they were going to be pinned inside the 10.
Ball comes out to the 20 as RPI has their second possession of this second half, 2-0. RPI leads, 9:43 to go in the third quarter. On first down, Burnett, maybe a yard.
On the carry. It's a gain of 1.
Trying to go to the right, and there wasn't a lot of room there.
45.
Bliss came in to make the tackle for Hobart.
78 rushing yards
Second down and
so
9.
far this afternoon for Burnett. He's the only player with any kind of yardage stacked up here through almost 2.5 quarters of football.
RPI stacks a pair of receivers on each side. Burnett in the backfield. He's going to take the handoff. Burnett pushes forward, gets some help, and
Burnett
he's
on the carry.
in a whole pile of people at the 26-yard line. He's down.
Romano. And Visconti.
Al Shipley calls Romano on the tackle. I'm not sure which of those 6
Gain
people
of
you
5.
can credit for the tackle.
It's third down and 4 from the RPI 26-yard line.
So RPI in a 3rd and 4. What's RPI's third down completion rate?
6 out of 13.
8.5 to go in the third quarter. RPI up 2-0. 3rd and 4 at their own 26. Kasanowski pulls down the snap. Pass complete, but it'll be short of a first down as Goldsmith caught it at the 26, which was the line of scrimmage, and was immediately tackled.
Romano, one of the linebackers that we've been calling his name a lot, in on the tackle. Nice
from the 26.
Bring down of Goldsmith at the 26 for no gain, and 4th down now for RPI. There's really been 3 guys for Hobart who we've said their name on defense all day, Manexant and Romano, the linebackers, and also Jay McCoy, the free safety, making a lot of tackles and really keeping Hobart in this game at a time its offense not doing much.
Burke kicks it away. Nice high kick. Fair catch is signaled, and that was Lenz taking it inside his own 40 and then almost collides with his own guy.
No return.
Yeah, the
Hobart
upfield blocker was battling with an RPI coverage guy and almost kind of got knocked into Lenz. Good concentration by Lenz to not let that rattle him and make the catch. Out at the 40.
Head downtown after the game to check out the pub kitchen at Ryan's Wake Pub.
Good field position to start this drive for Hobart. Again, they've struggled all day, but again, if you're going to try to look at it as positively as you can, well, if you're Hobart, well, we got the ball at the 40. This is our best starting point since early in the ball game. Maybe if we can move something now, we're still right in this.
Cruson had trouble with the snap. Hands off, and is that a first down? It is. It's the first down as Boswell takes it off the left side, gets 11 yards, and to the 49 of RPI, and that's the first down for Hobart.
Yeah, all afternoon. It's not a mistake, folks. They got no first downs in the first half, and that was an 11-yard carry by Boswell to get the Statesman's first down of the game. Longest offensive play of the game as well for Hobart, and they're now in RPI territory. And like we said, RPI's dominated the stats, but it's only a 2-point lead, so anything can still happen here.
1st and 10 Hobart at the RPI 49. 2-0 RPI leads. Boswell with the carry. Another good pickup. He's going to get about 5 down to the 44. There's also a struggle going on away from the play.
That Josh Cohen, 97, and one of the offensive linemen for Hobart kind of mixing it up. RPI thought there was a late hit or grab by the Hobart lineman, but no flag on the play.
To the RPI 44
I believe it's
yard
Cade
line.
Frucci, 67, that was tangled up with Cohen.
No penalties on that. So we're at 6.5 to go in the third quarter. 2-0 RPI leads. 2nd and 5 Hobart at the RPI 44. 3 wide out formation. Cruson is going to keep it himself. He goes left, runs out of room, and he's out of bounds at the 41.
Didn't get much, but it's now 3 plays in a row where you've seen Hobart kind of move the line of scrimmage
41-yard
and
line.
get some sort of rushing
third down
yardage
and 2.
out of their plays. They hadn't been doing that at all in the first half, and now they've gone for 11 and 6 and 2. So sets up a 3rd and short at the RPI 41. Again, it's RPI has dominated the stats, but the score is just 2-0 Engineers midway through the third quarter.
3 wide out formation, and that's a direct snap to Boswell. He hands it off.
Denham on the carry.
Denham leans across.
And we've got a flag coming in. Denham, it was a direct snap to Boswell. He handed off to Denham. Denham would have a first down, but what is this flag?
RPI is pointing at one of the tackles, Ben Frank, 63, I believe, of Hobart. The Engineers were pointing at the Hobart player and clapping their hands when the flag came out. Now, we don't know for sure if there's going to be a call against that player. We'll see. But that was the reaction. That it might have been after the play and a little continued back and forth.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 63 on the offense.
63 offense.
A 15-yard penalty.
Unnecessary roughness after the play.
First down.
Yeah, so the play stands as a first down, and they lose 15 yards.
Personal foul against Hobart. We'll move the ball back to the Hobart.
So Denham had gotten it down to the 38 of RPI, but now they're walking it off 15 yards back to the Hobart side of the field, 47. The near side hash mark, they're moving right to left, which is with a steady wind here in the third quarter.
Hobart 1st and 10 at their own 47.
So Hobart's back to a 1st and 10 at their own 47. 5:35 to go in the third quarter. 2-0 RPI leads. Hobart stays on the ground, and this is going to get them about 2 yards as Denham went to the left and couldn't find a whole lot of open space there.
Denham on the carry.
Michi Conquo among the tacklers there for Rensselaer.
And Denham is sitting down, and so we'll have an official timeout on the field. 5:13 to go in the third quarter. 2-0 RPI leads Hobart.
Yeah, Denham, their leading rusher, and I can't tell if that's his calf or his knee or his ankle. Looks like the calf area on his right side that the trainers are now taking a look at. We'll mention Conquo among the tacklers right there. He is the leading tackler, and he did get credit for that one. He leads the Engineers in tackles right now with 7. Joe Deptula with 4. Lou Vigent and Nate Sicard with 3 apiece.
Out of town in the third quarter, Rochester leads Buffalo State 9-0, and in the second quarter, it's Ithaca 6, St. Lawrence 0.
Again, this is getting into the home stretch of the season, the final 4 games of the conference schedule. RPI having dispatched of Buffalo State and Rochester, the 2 teams picked for the bottom of the pile this year in the conference, so they're 2-0, but now they're heading into the tough part. They're going to have Hobart, Ithaca, St. Lawrence, and Union sort of determine the outcome of this season. And as you're looking at the conference as a whole, Kurt, I think it's kind of clear consensus that Ithaca is kind of king of the hill right now, and the team that everyone will be expecting to, at this point, win it. They're the top-ranked team. They're unbeaten in conference. And
they're unbeaten overall.
And RPI is going to have to go there in 2 weeks. So. And they beat this Hobart team 31-7 earlier this month.
2nd and 8, balls at the Hobart 49-yard line. 4 wideouts. Cruson wants to pass. Puts the ball up in the air, and it's incomplete along the near sideline. Kay was the intended receiver.
C.J. Lyons in coverage there, kind of tangled with Kay. Lyons talking to the referee because he thought Kay pushed off, but no flag there. And by the way, we should mention C.J. Lyons, I believe, was the one score in this game was a safety after a botched snap that led to a scramble near the goal line. And C.J. Lyons appeared to be the guy who made the hit on Boswell, which ended up leading to a safety. We weren't able to credit that number in the first half.
3rd down and 8. Scoreboard's wrong. It's 3rd and 8. Cruson fakes the handoff, throws in the flat far side. That's complete, but not a first down. Pass was complete to Bartosik, but he is 2 yards short of a first down at the 45-yard line.
Gain is to the RPI.
Now, what do you do here if you're Hobart? You haven't had many offensive chances, and you're on RPI's side. It's
third down,
of the field. It's 4th and 2, and it looks like they're going to line up to, well, either go for it or
pretend to go for
it and try to draw the Engineers offside. But they're lining up as if to go for it. 4th and 2 at the 45.
Single wide out east side. Cruson is in the shotgun. 10 seconds left on the play clock, and they'll snap the ball. Cruson will keep it. Cruson will get the first down, going to the right, and he's going to find enough room, and he's to the 41, and that's a first down.
Well, good forward thrust by the right side of that line, especially Cade Frucci, the right guard, and also Kieran Paskowitz, the right tackle, surging forward. He didn't need but 2 yards. He ended up getting just enough for the first down, 4-yard gain for Cruson. And now Hobart, with what amounts to be their biggest threat to score, their best sustained drive so far in this ball game.
1st and 10 at the RPI 41. Engineers lead 2-0. And that's not a mistake. That's a score. 2-0 in the 3rd quarter. And Boswell takes the handoff. He tries to run right. They're having some luck that way.
For one,
and he gets about Boswell 3 yards to the 38.
Carry inside the 40-yard line.
And we have an injured
officials timeout.
Hobart player.
By
and
C.J. Lyons.
That will stop the clock. 3:23 to go here in the 3rd quarter. RPI 2, Hobart 0.
Hobart has now run 9 plays on this drive. That's by far their best drive of the afternoon.
That's Kieran Paskowitz right now, who is being looked at by the training staff for the Hobart Statesman. The clouds are basically gone here in Troy. It's sunny in the 60s. Wind is still with Hobart right now.
They've gotten 3 first downs on this drive after having none through the first half and the opening drive of the second half. So they've now put together 3 first downs. Their overall yards, which were 11 at the first half, are now up to 46. And Cruson now 3 of 9 with 1 interception on the afternoon.
Paskowitz will walk off under his own power. Second down and 7 for Hobart at the RPI 38. Cruson wants to throw. Looking left along the sidelines, and Davis can't get it. It's a touchdown. Labella with the reception. Flag. Oh, nope, that's a leaf.
Complete to Alex Labella.
Hobart takes a 6-2 lead, and Davis looks like he's hurt along the sideline.
It was Davis and Labella battling down on the left sideline at about the 3-yard line. Both reaching up for the ball, and Labella's just a taller guy, and the ball was just thrown a little bit over Davis's reach, and he used that height to make the catch at the 3. Davis falls down, and it's an easy glide into the end zone from there from Labella. And, you know, as we were saying in the first half, Hobart did nothing offensively, not even a first down, but they were only down by 2, and at that point, All you would need is one drive, one big play. And, boy, they put together a big drive here. 4 first downs on this drive after getting none, again, through the first 2.5 quarters. And no big plays whatsoever until right there, right when they needed a long bomb from Cruson to Labella down the left sideline. He outleaps Davis for the catch at the 3, goes in for the score, and Hobart with the first touchdown of the afternoon. It's Statesman 6, Engineers 2, with 3:02 to go in the third quarter, and they're going to line up for a 2-point try here.
So Hobart, even with the win, they're going to keep the offense out and go for 2. Denham is in the backfield along with Cruson's out of the shotgun. Denham is next to him. 2 wideouts on the right. You got a man in the slot on the left. Cruson looking right, pass, and that is incomplete. So the 2-point conversion fails. It remains 6-2 in favor of Hobart.
3:02 remaining.
But in a game like today, 6 is a lot.
Score, Hobart 6.
Tried to hit Boswell at the goal line on a sort of a sprint out right, and Boswell was cutting to the far sideline, and the ball was thrown behind him.
He had to
turn and try to make a back shoulder catch.
And generations of student athletes
couldn't pull off the acrobatics
to do that. So to balance the rigors of academics with collegiate athletics.
Going for 2 there because
about how you can help our men's and women's
is a 6-point difference as opposed to 7-2.
Giving.rpi.edu.
But again, it's the first touchdown of the game.
Go Red.
And what's been a defensive struggle, which is what we predicted at the outset here. It's always a defensive struggle between these two teams, and it's always seemingly a white knuckler of a ball game, and that's what we got right here. Hobart hadn't done anything offensively for 2.5 quarters until they put together that drive. They marched down the field, 4 first downs, and the touchdown pass on a bomb from Cruson to Labella. RPI offense now has to get in gear. They've had some sustained drives ended in turnovers, a fumble, and an interception. And they've got nothing to show for offense right now, and now they're trailing.
Kickoff goes into the end zone, and RPI is going to let it go through, and they'll take it at the 25-yard line.
Kick is through the end zone for
you could not have asked for better until that drive from the RPI defense. You simply could not have asked for better. But then you look, and you only have a 2-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and technically that 2 points is on special teams.
Right.
That's a 2-point special teams, not 2 points on the defense. And the offense had to do something. Now they're behind.
Yep. And like I say, Hobart struggling all the time. And in the sustained drive for the first time, they methodically picked up 4 first downs, and then the 38-yard touchdown pass from Cruson to Labella.
Kasanowski wants to throw on first down. That's going to be a short pass. And that is complete. 30 and 35, and that'll be a first down.
To number 20, Christian Buckley.
I believe it was Buckley, 20, the backup.
I was trying to see. I was confused if it was 20 Buckley or 30 Isernia, but it's 20.
Tackled by
nice little screenplay set up on the left side.
It's gain of 11, first
RPI
and
now
10,
mixing
RPI.
it up. They've often been leading with that rush by Burnett on first down, so they're deciding to change it up here on this possession, now trailing for the first time this afternoon.
First and 10 RPI at the 36 on their own side of the field. 2.5 to go, third quarter, 6-2. Hobart with the lead here. Burnett takes the carry. Burnett falls over one of the defenders, and he's to the 41 for a gain of 5.
And the one thing that last drive brings up, Kurt, is that Cruson and the receiving corps for Hobart always had the ability to try to take a shot downfield on a long pass. RPI hasn't really done that all afternoon. The one pass of any length was Kasanowski to Sterling Walker earlier in the ballgame, which was really kind of a comeback route at midfield, but nothing like deep down the field. They haven't shown any kind of ability to throw deep and kind of open up that Hobart defense.
The training staff is looking at another one of the Hobart Statesmen, so we have another timeout on the field. 2:11 to go here, third quarter. 6-2, Hobart leads RPI. So if that's the game, let's hypothetically, if it ends 6-2, Hobart, you look down and it gets one drive that they sustained until they got a big play. Mm-hmm. And then you think about RPI, Coach Isernia talking to us, and we were talking in the break, you know, a game like St. John Fisher, you needed one play.
That's right.
You know, just what that, and for Hobart, that may be the play, depending on how this all goes. But RPI didn't get that against St. John Fisher. They never got that one play that could take a 3-0 loss and make it a 6 or 7-3 win.
Well, still enough time to do something. Obviously, 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Then you've got the whole fourth quarter when the sides will turn around and RPI will have the wind with it. But again, the challenge for the Engineers hasn't been just moving the ball and getting a first down or two, but really sustaining it enough to get into the end zone. They've had two really decent drives. One ended in a fumble and one in an interception.
2nd and 5 at their own 41 for RPI. 3 wide out formation. Burnett with the carry. Burnett gets hit, and he got maybe a yard. He stopped at the 42, and that'll set up a 3rd down and 4 for the Engineers. RPI's been getting into a lot of 3rd down situations today. It has been very, very tough for RPI to move this ball.
And 4.
Even though they have better stats than Hobart, they're not getting it deep into the other side of the field.
They're 6 of 14 on 3rd down efficiency this afternoon. This one's going to be a challenge here.
3rd and 4 at the 42. 2 receivers right, 1 left. They're going to go on the ground and forget it. That was never going to get anywhere. That was Romano who came in with the first hit on Burnett, and he's going to lose yards and make it 4th and long.
Yeah, they were looking for Burnett all the way there. And Romano, again, we've been saying almost these same 3 players over and over again. Romano, Manexant, and McCoy have just been leading a swarming defense here for Hobart and really keying off Burnett. He's obviously the featured back for RPI, and they were looking for him all the way. Weren't fooled by anything. Romano breaks through and makes a tackle. That's his 12th tackle this afternoon. 12 tackles for Romano. And we aren't even in the fourth quarter yet.
And RPI is going to go with a fake punt that will fail. That failed. They actually lose a yard as it was snapped to Hughes, one of the up men. And Hobart didn't get fooled by that at all. And RPI turns it over on downs at the 39.
Another big play that's going to go the Hobart way.
Will take over first
among those that were in there, Noah Sashery, a linebacker, 22, was in there to sniff out that fake punt and bring the runner down at the RPI 39. Also in there, I believe, was 54, Vito Visconti. A whole host of Hobart players. There was never any lane to run. I know RPI wanted to go with the trick play, but that was never open. It never looked like he had much room to run at all.
He had 0 room. Hobart was all over him immediately. So Hobart, first time today, starts on RPI side of the field. 1st and 10 at the RPI 39-yard line. Cruz some pump fakes. Now along the sideline, he's got a man open. Is he going to get there? No. The ball was overthrown along the far sideline.
Wow,
Labella was the intended receiver.
And he had his man burned. He had him beat. What he did was about a 20 and out and then up along the sideline. And the defender was left hang out to dry along the sideline. Labella had 3 steps on him, but the ball was just overthrown by Cruson. As it was unfolding, it looked like they were going to score on that play. He was wide open.
He was. Single receivers each side on 2nd and 10. And Denham takes the carry, and Denham is down to the 33 on what is probably the last play of the third quarter. It is. So 3 quarters are in the book here in Troy, and it's Hobart 6, RPI 2.
Connor Noyes on the tackle.
And look at the
34
Hobart sideline on the far side, the orange and white, now very fired up, and they've got the lead and the momentum.
Hobart 6.
Again, we said this at halftime. They had a terrible first half.
If you're looking to take that cruise
they were being dominated in all the categories, and yet the score was just 2-0.
Maybe you want to get away for a day or two.
And you look at that and you're Hobart looking, all we got to do is break through here. And now
Yankee Trails is also available for your ground transportation.
A long drive that resulted in ended with a 38-yard touchdown pass to give Hobart the lead 6-2. And now RPI gambling and failing on a 4th down. They ran a fake punt in their own territory, didn't make it. And now Hobart taking over at the RPI 39, and they'll be at the 34 as we start here in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 5. But all the momentum now on the orange and white of the far sideline here in Troy. RPI's dominated for 2.5 quarters, but didn't build up a lead. And right now the momentum's with Hobart.
And let's face it, the lead they got
Was on special. Well,
not even
defense.
Special teams. A mistake.
Yeah, a mistake. A
Hobart
snap.
mistake is what got them the lead they had.
A botch snap, which led to a safety. Was the only score that RPI's put on the board today.
Fourth quarter about to start. 3rd and 5 Hobart at the RPI. 3rd and 4. Cruson looked over to his left, decides to run the ball, but he's not going to get a first down.
To the 30-yard
No,
line.
they're going to mark him at best a little beyond the 30, and he had to get to the 29.
They were trying to set up a wide receiver screen to the left side, but RPI had it completely covered. So a
4th
good
and 1
read
at the
by
RPI
Cruson
30-yard
to not
line.
throw over to the left side. Instead, he just kept it up the middle and gets the ball to the 30, and where it's going to be 4th and 1, and surely they're going for it here now.
Yes, Hobart is going for it. 6-2 they lead, 4th quarter, just underway. 4th and 1 at the RPI 30. Cruson out of the shotgun, keeps it himself. He's got the first down. I'm pretty sure he does to the 28. Yeah, forward progress got him to the 28. He got pushed back by Sicard, but he clearly had the first down.
And 94.
Simple play, just running off right tackle.
First down, Hobart
lean
at
forward
the
enough to get it.
Yeah, Sicard and Deptula were in there, but he got enough forward progress to the 28 for the first down.
Big sequence here for the RPI defense. They've been so stout through the afternoon until that last drive where they gave up a touchdown. And now that we're in the 4th quarter, points are hard to come by. You really can't afford to give up any here on this drive to Hobart.
1st and 10 Hobart at the 28. They're up 6-2. The pitch to Denham. Denham will get chased down by Deptula.
Boy, I don't know what Hobart was thinking there on that play. Cruson got the snap and kind of looked downfield as if to pass, and then kind of flipped it to the side to Denham, fooling no one, especially not Joe Deptula, who made the
loss
tackle
of 5
for
on
about
the play.
5-yard
2nd down
loss.
and 15 from the RPI 33-yard line.
So the RPI defense certainly has not given up here. It is a 4-point deficit for RPI. It's one of those games, though, that 4 points seems like a lot more. 2nd and 15 for the Statesman. Cruson wants to throw, and he's got a wide open man at the 6 to the 5, and that should be a touchdown. Yes, that's a touchdown for Hobart. Was that Lance who got it?
That was Daramola, number 9.
Okay, 9, not 6. All right, Daramola with the touchdown for
the Statesman. You know what happened there, Kurt?
Hobart.
He ran a down, out, and up, which they tried in the 3rd quarter with Labella, and the Labella had burned the RPI defender and was wide open in the end zone, but the ball was overthrown. Well, you know what? They went right back to that same play, different receiver, but right sideline, running a receiver down, out, and up, and the RPI defender, biting on the cut to the sideline, and by the time Daramola cuts upfield towards the end zone, he was wide open.
Snap, spot, kick is up. The kick is good for Hobart. 12:51 to go here. 4th quarter, Hobart 13, RPI 2.
Hobart 13.
And this game has just gone topsy-turvy in the last, 8 minutes, 9 minutes of football here. RPI had been dominating for 2.5 quarters. We mentioned it over and over. The Engineers' defense had not allowed a first down at all through the first 2.5 quarters. And all of a sudden, Hobart gets a long, sustained drive for a touchdown, scoring on a long pass. RPI gets the ball back. Maybe feeling a little bit of pressure. They faced a 4th down deep in their own territory, tried to get it using a fake punt that went nowhere. Hobart takes over deep in RPI territory at the 39. Well, deep enough at the 39. And going to the air for the touchdown again. Hobart had -1 passing yards the first half. And now what we've seen at the end of the 3rd quarter and now the start of the 4th is
Women's soccer
Hobart
will
has been
host
able
William
to burn
Smith
the
following
Engineers
today's
on
football
long
game.
passes,
Kickoff,
something
4
that was
p.m.
not
here
there
at
early in the
ECAP
game, but
Stadium.
it has opened up here in the second half of this game, and now it's 13-2. A 2-score game, which seems awfully big this afternoon here in Troy.
Yeah, he was just wide open along the sidelines.
Yeah, it was a down, out, and up.
Yeah. Kickoff goes out of bounds. so RPI will get better field position than with the touchback right now. But there's 12:51 to go, and RPI needs 2 scores.
Is out of
and
bounds.
just to explain that down, out, and up, it was Daramola who ran it, which was he's on the right sideline, right hash mark. He runs about 20 yards straight down the field, cuts towards the sideline as if it's going to be a sideline route, but then at the last second then wheels and heads towards the end zone. The RPI defender kind of thinking it was a sideline route all the way, got left behind, and Daramola was 3-5 yards clear of anybody.
Ball is placed at the
made
RPI
the catch at about the 5
line,
and dragged the
10
defender
the
in
Engineers.
just across the pylon for the touchdown in the right corner.
Ball's at the 35. RPI has it there after the penalty for the kick going out of bounds. RPI needs points, and they need them soon. Kaznowski looking downfield, and is he going to get sacked? Yeah, he's getting sacked at this point. He's going down.
Kaznowski is sacked back at the 20.
Call that one a coverage sack because he couldn't find anybody open downfield, and RPI is back to the 25.
It's a loss of 10, second down and 20.
Karpowicz, 92. Yeah, he had lots of time to throw. He had plenty of time to look, but just nobody was open. And finally the pocket collapsed. Karpowicz, 92, coming in for the sack.
2nd and 20 as RPI is in a passing mode, and they get the ball off. Kaznowski got it off before he was going to get hit. Burnett gets it, but he stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And that's Romano, again, the guy with now 13 tackles coming in from his linebacker position. Caught Burnett by the foot and just wouldn't let him go until someone else came in to help bring Burnett down.
RPI very quickly looking at a 3rd and 20. This is WRPI Troy with Engineer football from the East Campus Stadium. Kurt Sut, Yancey Roy on the call for you. Engineers trailing. Flag comes out. Is that against RPI? Did they move early?
False start.
They did.
Number 19 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Let's start penalty.
3rd and 20 just became 3rd and 25, and RPI is just making this tougher on themselves as they trail 13-2.
Third and 25.
4 wide out formation. Kaznowski out of the shotgun. Looking to throw. This is a 3-man rush. He gets the ball away, and it's going to be incomplete. Walker Sutton was the intended receiver. He saw that all the way. The defenders hadn't turned to look, but he was coming up behind them.
Yeah, it was overthrown, and he tried to induce a penalty call from the refs by kind of affirmatively bumping into the defender, but that ball was overthrown. Frustration there as he looked and held his hands wide open, asking the ref for a call, but the ref shaking his head and saying no. That ball was well overthrown, and RPI is going to have to punt.
They have the win. That's the only thing going in RPI's favor right now. Burke kicks the ball away. It'll take an RPI bounce, and the Statesman will just stay away from this as it continues rolling. It's inside the 20. It's around the 18.
Punt rolls dead at the...
And it's still rolling.
Hobart.
And there we go.
17-yard line.
11:01 to go in the fourth quarter. Hobart 13, RPI 2.
It's going to end up going for about a 63-yard punt.
Looks good on the stat sheet.
Well, here we are. It's a crucial set of downs now for the RPI defense. They're now down 2 scores, 13-2. And after dominating for 2.5 quarters and not even allowing a first down, well, they've been pushed around the last 2 possessions by Hobart, both of which have resulted in touchdowns. They've got to make a stop and get the ball back. If Hobart holds on the ball for any amount of time here,
it's going to be bad for RPI, yes.
Yeah.
Hobart cruising on a keeper. He'll get stopped. If he's lucky, he got back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he did. So there'll be a no gain on that.
You wonder if Hobart's even going to put the ball in the air here, maybe a screen pass at most, because now you're up 11 points.
No gain on the play. Second down
and you're getting down to the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and the priority now for the Statesman is just run the clock, run the clock, run the clock.
Second and 10 for Hobart. 3 receiver formation, 1 running back. Handoff to Denham. He's going to get caught, and there'll be a loss of yards on that. So the defense gets in and gets to him. Lyons and Shoemaker got in there.
Yeah, Shoemaker, the first guy to get there, kind of bursting in from the offensive right side, the defensive left side.
Losses back to the 16-yard
Grabbed Denham by the arm and just twirled him around like a wagon wheel.
Third down and 11.
Bringing him down at the 16.
Third and 11 for the Statesmen, who are just getting to the line with 6 seconds left on the play clock. Two running backs. Grusin hands off to Denham. Denham goes left, trying to find room along the sidelines. Doesn't find any. He stopped within the 20, and it'll be fourth down for Hobart.
Yeah, well, main priority there for Denham was run the ball and stay in bounds. And that's what he did. RPI, Deptula, and others trying to force him out to the sideline, but Denham went down, kind of giving himself up a little bit there at the 24 to keep the clock running as we're down under 9 minutes to play.
RPI has time.
It's
going away on them, but they still have time.
Punter Tobias Weffering. I haven't mentioned him much here in the second half. In the first half, I could have argued that he was their best offensive player for Hobart. Some booming kicks that kept Hobart out of trouble to an extent in that first half.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
So Hobart's going to get flagged with delay of game here.
So now they're backed up to the 14, and Weffering is going to be standing at his goal line for this punt, and he's going to be punting into a wind, which if you look at the flagpole out on the south side, is the wind's really picking up here. Maybe it could help RPI on this kick.
Good snap. Kick is away, not a good kick. And that's going to go out of bounds at the Hobart 33. So RPI is going to get the ball in really good field position here, trailing 11 points with 8:14 to go.
Well, how about that? We just talked about the wind becoming really stiff out of the south side, and he got that one only 19 yards in the air. And that's a break for RPI. I thought it went out of the 33. They'll mark it at the 34. Okay, so 20-yard kick. 20-yard kick for Weffering. And now we're at 8:14, and this is basically a must-score drive for the Engineers.
First and 10, RPI at the 33. RPI on the ground to the 29. Actually, the 34. RPI on the ground to the 29-yard line. So Burnett, who's been doing the lion's share of the running duties, picks up 5 yards on that play.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
Second down and 5 for RPI. Kazagnowski looks end zone, and he's got a man. Touchdown! Kazagnowski finds
RPI.
Palmer, and RPI's got 8, and they are right back in this.
Wow, you know what that was set up by is a good off-read, fake read by Kazagnowski. He was in the pocket, and he looked to the right sideline, and you could see the deep secondary of Hobart reading the quarterback's eyes, and they all just ran towards that far sideline. And all of a sudden, Palmer was behind everyone in the middle of the end zone. And a perfect strike from Kazagnowski. Palmer making the catch about 5 yards deep. RPI's first touchdown of the game. It makes it 13-8, so of course they're going to go for 2 points here. 2-point conversion to try to get within 3. And they're lining up Burnett, the running back, to take the snap here for this 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Hughes is with him in the backfield. Burnett gets, he just hit a wall. He just hit a wall at the 3-yard line, and that's it. It doesn't count.
The try is
so
no
it stays
good.
13-8.
7:44 remaining.
In favor of Hobart. RPI trying to close it so a field goal could tie it, but that's not going to happen.
Romano, a guy we've said his name all day, but he led the
RPI
charge in
men's
closing
hockey
that
will
gap
take on
off
Army
the right
at
guard
7
that
o'clock tonight.
Burnett was trying to
Stop
sneak
by the
through.
Houston Fieldhouse. Purchase your tickets.
Looked like a little confusion on that RPI play as well. Burnett was still looking to the sideline for the call.
After
and
the game,
turned around in time to just get the snap and take off.
Great deals and
they weren't very settled before they tried to run that 2-point
located
conversion.
down the hill in the Troy Plaza.
It's been a scoring frenzy in the second half.
Subway, eat fresh.
3 touchdowns after the only score being a safety in the first half. So now it's 13-8, 7:44 to go in the ball game. And we had mentioned that possession was pretty much a must-score possession, and the RPI delivered a terrific pass from Kazanowski to Palmer for the touchdown. And now the Engineers will kick off. And again, the wind favors them. And it came into play in that last Hobart punt that was by Weffering, was back in his end zone and got only a 20-yard punt off, which ended up leading to the RPI touchdown. It's kind of funny, a funny moment here. The wind, as you can probably hear in the speakers, really picking up here. And next to us is the Hobart coaching box. And about 5 seconds ago, a stack of papers went flying from their desk out into the stands. The Hobart coach kind of reaching his hand out the window in a desperate attempt to grab them before they went into the seats.
The wind is so strong that RPI needs a holder for this kickoff.
Yeah, it's really changed here late in the afternoon.
Merrick boots it, and that goes into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line for Hobart.
Through the end zone for a touchback. Hobart will take over 1st and 10 at the
So we'll set the stage here at 13-8, Hobart over RPI. The last time Hobart had the ball, very conservative attack, if you even want to call it that. They just, were trying to run the clock, ran 3 plays, didn't get anywhere. Now that the game has closed to a 5-point deficit, Hobart's going to have to put a premium on keeping this ball, possessing it for a while, getting a few first downs. They're not just going to be able to run 3 and outs and try to run out the clock.
Hobart's going to put 3 receivers bunched together on the right, 1 on the left. Cruson is alone in the backfield, tight end on the left side. It's 1st and 10 at the 25. Quick pass, and that's incomplete. Goes off the hands of Labella.
Yeah, they were trying to set up that wide receiver screen on the right side.
2nd down and 10.
And the pass just, A, was a little high, and B, Labella didn't look it all the way into his hands. It kind of skidded off the top of his fingers and out of bounds. A little bit of pressure coming from Connor Noyes there on Labella. He was closing in as Labella was trying to make the catch and turn upfield.
That stops the clock. 7:41 to go, 4th quarter. So more than half the 4th quarter available to RPI when they get this ball back eventually. Direct snap to Boswell. He gets hit. Flag comes out. Flags from both sides.
On the carry.
Player loses his helmet for Hobart, and Boswell only got about a yard.
Yeah, one of the offensive linemen there, I believe it was Paskowitz, 58, lost his helmet. There's been an increased sort of testiness on the line between both the RPI defense and the Hobart offense. A lot of late pushing and shoving after
personal
the whistle.
Foul, hands to the face, number 11.
So hands to the face against RPI. That is Shoemaker who's going to get called for that.
And that was the blow that knocked Paskowitz's helmet off.
Because his helmet came off through the penalty.
And that's a tough break for the Engineers because it was going to be 3rd and long. Probably
personal
3rd
foul
and something
penalty
like 7
against
or so.
RPI. We'll move the ball to the 40-yard line.
Hobart, instead, a 15-yard walk-off is going to bring it all the way out to the 41 of Hobart. 1st and 10. Tough break for RPI. Look, they've got a little bit of the momentum back. They got to kind of keep their heads and not commit penalties that keep Hobart on the field.
Because of the penalty, Paskowitz does not have to sit a play. Helmet comes off during play. Normally you do, unless the other team is the reason for it. So he is allowed to be in this play. 1st and 10, Hobart at the 41-yard line on their own side of the field. They are leading 13-8. Boswell gets the handoff. The pile moves Boswell into the 46. So a pickup of 5.
Gain of 5.
We're going to hit the 7-minute mark. 7 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Hobart obviously trying to run some clock, but you know what? If you're RPI, you've got to also be just leery of the pass game. They've had some success going deep down the sidelines here in the second half, and it wouldn't surprise me if Cruson and the Statesmen look for that kind of play again here on this possession.
2nd and 5. This is a heavy left formation except the running back who's on the right, and Cruson's going to go right behind the running back Boswell, and he steps out at the 50. Yep, one yard short of a first down
by Deptula.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 for Hobart.
Evaded one tackle at the 46, ended up getting out to the 50 before he's knocked out of bounds by Deptula. But the extra effort by Cruson, instead of this being like a 3rd and 5, it's a 3rd and 1. At the 50, ball is on the near side hash. They're moving left to right, which is against the wind here in the 4th quarter.
Third down and 1. It'll be Cruson out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, double tight end formation. They hand off to Boswell, and I think he's got the first down. They're coming in at the 49, and that'll be a first down.
Amici Conquo, who lines up at right end, came crashing across from his side and almost caught Denham in the backfield at the 47. But Denham was sort of able to do a cutback and get around him, and Conquo very frustrated talking to the ref because he thinks he was held. He thinks his left arm was held as he was trying to reach out and grab Denham behind the line of scrimmage. It's not a play that we can see anything obvious from way up here, but boy, Amici was really frustrated and talking to the ref after that play. He thought he was grabbed and prevented from making that tackle.
All the receivers to the left this time, along with the running back. Cruson out of the shotgun. 1st and 10, Hobart at the 49. Hobart leads by 5. Cruson keeps it, and he's going to lose yards back to the 49-yard line.
Behind the line.
And is he hurt? He is down and not getting up right away. And we're going to have a timeout. Cruson really got crunched there. I thought it was Deptula who came flying in.
I believe so. There's about 3 guys who hit him. But I think Deptula was among the first to get there. And it's at the 49 now. Out on the field and throwing the ball around to get loose is Johnny Columbi. He is a sophomore, 6'3", 200. He's the backup quarterback, and he has had some action this year. Since not today, of course, he's not been in this game, but he has been out there in a bunch of games for Hobart. He has 17 pass completions for 36, out of 36 rather, including for 1 touchdown, and he's getting loose kind of near the far sideline throwing the ball because it looks like he's going to have to come in at least
one play, and I'm suspecting more.
Yeah, because Cruson is down on his back, and he's got one leg lifted. He's got his right knee up, and they're talking to him down on the ground, and he is moving. It's not that he's not moving at all, but he's not moving much, and it looks like he's going to have to be out for a bit here. Now he's up on his feet and headed toward the sideline with some applause. And he's getting off to the sideline okay. No, maybe it's just, really a hard hit. Hit the ground hard with his head, maybe knocked the wind out of him. It didn't look like he was limping or any kind of problem with a knee or ankle or anything like that. But he does have to come out right now, and Columbia is going to be in.
And somebody just spoke to him, and now he's going back. I think they're actually going to take a look at him. So it's 2nd down and 12 for Hobart at their own 49. A little over 5 to go here. 4th quarter, 13-8, Hobart leads. And Boswell gets the handoff. Boswell tries to turn this one upfield, does, and keeps taking people with him, and he's close to a first down. And a flag comes flying in late.
Flag on the play.
Rayshawn Boswell, wow, that's a big play there. He dragged RPI defenders, 7-8 yards?
Maybe more.
Yeah.
But the flag is getting positioned back near the 50.
It might be Hobart.
This might be coming back.
Yeah, Hobart offense seems to be backing up here as we wait for the call. That would be a nice break for RPI because if there's no flag, you'd be looking at 3rd and less than a yard for the Statesmen. Referees huddled up on the side. We don't have a call yet.
If this comes back, that was a good run by Boswell. That was a lot of effort there. It's a shame if you don't get credit for that.
We've got no signal to the crowd yet, but Hobart's offense is backing up all the way to its 38.
They're talking to Ralph Izerni right now. The referee's talking to Ralph Izerni about what he wants to do.
Well, if it's a choice, you got to take the penalty because otherwise it's 3rd down and half a yard at the RPI 39.5.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 63 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Unnecessary roughness on 63, Ben Frank. One of the linemen we mentioned, there's been a lot of chippy play in the second half, a lot of entanglements between the Hobart offensive linemen and the defensive RPI after the play or amid the play here in this fourth quarter.
So that's
Penalty
15 yards
moves the
against
ball back
Hobart.
To the
If
36
that factors into the final score of the game, that's an unforced error. It could be
second down
if it
at
factors in, it was
25.
costly. So the ball's back at the 36 for what is a second and
About
25.
About 25, yeah.
Second and 25 for Hobart, back at the 36-yard line. That is Columbia in there, and the handoff to Boswell, and he's going to lose yards. He got knocked back. Noyes came in and took him back to the 33.
Connor Noyes, one of the linebackers for RPI, just burst through the line and hit the runner in the backfield. Tackled for a loss, and now they give him a benefit of a yard. Put it at the 33. So now about 28 yards to go.
Third down at 28.
Yeah, we can call it 28. So that's Cruson coming back in, right?
The quarterback who was injured,
yes.
Kind of.
Cruson has just re-entered the game. Columbia is out. Third down and 28 at the 33. They go on the ground. Boswell gets hit right near the line of scrimmage, and he'll be tackled there.
Stop for no
Sicard,
gain.
94, among others, making the grab, not allowing him to get anywhere off that right side. And so RPI is going to force a punt here.
3:25 to go in the game. RPI has all 3 timeouts. Hobart does too. But right now, Hobart can wait until there's less than 3 minutes to go before punting this ball.
They will be punting into the wind. It looks like it's slowed down a hair from what it was about 10 or 15 minutes ago, but the last punt that Weffering tried, remember, it only went 19 or 20 yards, and he's got to punt into that wind again. So we'll see what happens if he can fare better this time.
Snap back, kick is away, and it's going to roll and go out of bounds near the RPI 30. Walker Sutton did not want to touch that, so RPI gets it at the 30-yard line. 2:50 to go, fourth quarter. Hobart 13, RPI 8.
Didn't get high up in the air at all, probably hitting on the ground at about the 42 and got another 12 yards of roll. So it ends up being an effective punt. RPI now 70 yards away with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. They're down by 5, so it has to be a touchdown if they're to win this game.
First and 10, RPI at their own 30. Hobart burned almost 5 minutes off the clock on that previous drive. And on the ground, isn't going to get much.
Carry.
Maybe a yard for RPI on first down.
Second down and 9.
So Burnett only gets about a yard. 2:35 to go in the game. Engineers trailing by 5. Time running out on them. 4 wide out formation. Kazanowski looking downfield. Has to throw short. Burnett has it. Burnett's to the 38.
Pass is complete to Burnett.
Maybe between the 38 and the 39. Sets up a third and about 1.5. No, 32. They're going to call it 38-yard line.
Third down and 2.
So we're on the 2:05 to go in the game. RPI third and 2 at the 38. Obviously, it's 4-down territory, regardless of where you are on the field at this point for RPI. Third down. Kazagnowski throws. He's got a man along the far sideline. That's Walker Sutton. He's out in Hobart's side of the field. He's out of bounds at the 48 of Hobart.
A nice route by Walker Sutton. Went about 12 yards on the far side and then just cut to the sideline. Got behind the cornerback. Made the catch and gets out of bounds. Importantly, they're at the 48. 1:52 to go in this ballgame.
4 wideouts, 3 to the left, 1 to the right for RPI. First and 10 at the 48 of Hobart. Pass, and that is incomplete over the middle. It's Meissner, 11, the intended receiver? Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a defender draped all over him, Bliss, and the RPI sideline wanted pass interference because it looked like Bliss was all over Meissner's back as the ball was coming in. But no call. Second down and 10 from the 48.
Clock stop with 1:48 to go. Again, RPI trailing by 5. They need a touchdown. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Kasanowski out of the shotgun. He's going to dish it off short. Caught off a tip by Burnett. And he's going to get stopped at the 46. However, he was probably better off dropping it. because they only got maybe a yard.
And the clock
runs.
And 8.
A drop pass there would have been better. So 3rd down and 9, 1:25 to go.
Hobart's been rushing just 3 guys. They've just had the linebackers back in coverage.
Kazagnowski. Burnett stays in the block. He throws over the middle. Wide open. Palmer, who's got the touchdown for RPI, has it complete to the 31. That's a first down.
Palmer.
Minute 12. Again, what we're seeing is Hobart just rushing 3 guys. Everybody else kind of dropping back in sort of a zone coverage. Palmer found a pocket in the middle of the field at the 31.
Hobart calls a timeout with 1:07 to go.
Hobart.
So again, 1:07 to go. Hobart leading by 5, 13 to 8.
Hobart.
RPI has it 1st and 10 at the Hobart 31.
RPI will mention the wind is with them, so they'll be throwing with the wind. That will help a bit as you try to move down the field here. The Engineers have not gone deep much all day except for the touchdown pass to Palmer on the last possession. What else have they looked for? They've thrown a lot of short screen passes. Sometimes they look for the little 10 or 15 and out to Walker Sutton on the sideline.
After a blasé first half, we have excitement here in the second half.
Sterling Walker, 49 yards receiving, Palmer 45. They've been their 2 deep threats. Other than that, it's been short passes to Burnett or Buckley.
1:07 on the clock. RPI down by 5. 1st and 10 at the Hobart 31. Engineers 2 receivers each side. Burnett in the backfield.
More pressure this time.
Kazagnowski throws, finds Burnett to 25. Burnett near the 20. That could be another first down. If it is, it stops the clock.
Gain of 10.
Hobart showed more pressure that time, sending an extra rusher, and there was pressure on Kazagnowski, but he got it away.
So it's a first down at the 20. Clock stops, now it's starting. 54 seconds left to go. Handoff to Burnett on first down, and he'll get stopped at the 17, and RPI calls a timeout. RPI calls a timeout. 46 seconds left. And Ralph Izernia wants maybe 2 or 3 more seconds on the clock.
He was out signaling for the timeout and jumping up and down excitedly, trying to get him to stop the clock. Well, a couple of seconds did roll off. Anyway, it's going to be the ball at the 46, or rather at the 17, with 46 seconds to go. So now you're in a position where you've got some options. You can throw to the end zone on any of these downs. You could try to just keep nudging it down the field. It might depend on obviously going to depend on who's open and what kind of pressure Kazagnowski's under. So far, early in that drive, Hobart was content to just rush 3 and drop everybody else back in zone coverage. Now that the ball's on their side of the field, they've been sending an extra pass rusher to try to hurry Kazagnowski.
Timeout is over. 2nd and 6 RPI at the Hobart 17. Engineers trail by 5. 46 seconds left. Two receivers each side. Burnett in the backfield. Kazagnowski shotgun. Gets the snap. 3-man rush. Pass. That is complete to Palmer. Palmer inside the 10. Palmer's got another first down at the 9, at the 8. Let's call it the 8-yard line. Clock stops, 39 seconds to go.
Tackled by number 28.
Palmer and Walker Sutton, the 2 favorite receivers for Kazagnowski. So far, one's on the near side left, other far side right.
1st and goal from the 8. Kazagnowski throws, it's complete to Palmer, touchdown! RPI takes a 14-13 lead.
A terrific read by not only Palmer but Kazagnowski. He was the lone guy on the left side, the near side. Everybody else was on the right. And Palmer, one of them recognized that obviously Palmer just ran a quick, hard slant from the far side towards the hash mark. Kazagnowski delivers the ball right at the 1-yard line, and he's able to shuck off the defender. That was number 1, Diallo, who was holding on to the back of Palmer, but Palmer able to make the grab right short of the goal line and carry it in, and RPI is now leading 14-13, 24 seconds to go.
RPI going for 2. 1 doesn't get you anything at this point. So RPI going for 2. Kazagnowski takes the snap. Under pressure, he's going to run. Kazagnowski is in for the 2-point conversion.
The try is good.
He was looking right. He was looking right. The pocket broke down. He just stepped up in it and saw an opening to the left, wide open field, and just scrambled all the way in, kind of running at a slant to his left, and got in just before he was brought down a yard into the end zone.
An 8-yard touchdown pass
for
from number 19, Jake Kazanowski,
and the RPI offense.
To number 4,
after sputtering through
Palmer.
the entire first half, 2 touchdown drives here late in the game, and they now lead it 16-13.
24 seconds
24 seconds to go. There's going to be a
the fourth
kickoff,
quarter.
But
the score
look
RPI
forward
16.
to what Hobart might run.
13.
Let's remember, Kurt, Cruson has burned RPI on some long passes down the sideline. He's hit a couple for a touchdown and a couple of times overthrown receivers when it might have been touchdowns. So they know what has worked against this RPI defense. We'll see what they try to do and also where they're positioned to start this final drive. RPI will be kicking off into the wind.
So do you tell Merrick to go for the touchback, or do you want him?
Absolutely. I think so. I think you bury them back as far as you can, because they're going to be throwing into the wind here, and you want to push this. You want to make them start as far back as you can on this possession.
Merrick boots it. It goes into the end zone, and this will be a touchback. So Hobart, with 24 seconds left, will start out at their own 25. And they need, well, no,
Hobart
they can get a field goal, but the field goal range right now is going to be shorter based on the wind.
Yeah, they're going to be going into the wind. Now, you know, they've got some big targets out there. Labella has made a couple of big catches, as has Daramola, 38-yard touchdown and a 33-yard touchdown. Marcus Lenz is 6'1". He's a tough receiver on the outside. And also, the big guy, Peyton Kay, hasn't had a catch all afternoon, but he's 6'5", and he could be a target here for Cruson as well.
Hobart at their own 25, down by 3 with 24 seconds left. They have 2 timeouts. 3-receiver formation. Cruson drops back. 3-man rush. Well, there's 4 kind of floating around. Pass that is complete to the 47, and it's caught there by Daramola. There's 17 seconds left. They're now out to about the 46 of RPI.
RPI
put on Hobart's side.
RPI put almost no rush there to Cruson. They were playing very cautiously, and Cruson was back in the pocket and had time to scan the field and find Daramola on the right sideline all the way out to the 46. We'll see if they stick with that, which is a soft pass rush, which is what we saw in that last play.
1st and 10 at the 46. 17 seconds left for Hobart. 3-receiver formation, tight end on the left.
Single man coverage on either side.
Cruson looking to throw, keeps looking left. Davis almost intercepted. Almost taken away by Davis. It goes incomplete. 11 seconds left.
Cruson overthrew his receiver, Daramola, down at the 32, and Davis got a hand on it at the 31, but couldn't corral it. So another chance for Hobart. Clock down now to 11 seconds. Ball at the Hobart 46. It's RPI 16, Hobart 13.
$11 seconds left. It is 2nd and 10. The downs don't matter as much anymore when you're just short of time. Cruson gets it off, and that's complete.
Pass is
And that is complete to Denham, and he's out at the RPI 45 with 7 seconds to go.
All right, so 7 seconds. One play, maybe 2 plays.
You got the timeout, so.
Yeah.
3rd down.
You either go for the bomb right here downfield, or you go for a quick out to just bring it a little bit closer, which is probably what I would suspect. Because they're running into the wind. So you might want to try a short pass here. But who knows? They're lined up 2 wide on the left, 1
RPI
on the right.
just called a timeout.
Timeout RPI.
Timeout. RPI. It's their second charge.
Can't take it with you.
They want to make sure that everything there's no miscommunication here.
We ask everyone to stay off the playing field at all times this afternoon.
The last or
Please
the second to last play of regulation.
Yeah, so
the game is over. Thank you.
If you're Hobart, the players need to kind of be aware of how much time is left. If they're in a position where they can't get downfield, drop to the ground and get a timeout called. You kind of need to be aware of that so you can get another snap.
Yeah, you've got to you've got to either throw the home run ball and go to the end zone, or just a quick out pass to get out of bounds, just getting a little closer for what would be then the final play.
Okay, so
especially watch the near receiver here. If Cruson looks for that quick out, because he's got a lane to a receiver on the near side.
3rd down and 1. Cruson's going to look near side and goes through the hands of the intended receiver. That was Denham. 4 seconds to go.
Denham.
4th down, but it's probably the last play anyway, barring a defensive penalty. This basically takes the field goal
the RPI
off the board. They are way too far out.
Right.
Hobart.
And Denham, that's what we suspected they might try as a short out pass on the near side. They were looking for Denham at the 40. Ball just kind of delivered with a lot of mustard and went right through his hands and out of bounds. And so that's where the last play will take place, well, barring a penalty. At the RPI 45, it's the near side hash mark. Hobart is going left to right, north to south, in what has been a pretty stiff wind here all of the second half, so that could factor in here as well. You got to imagine they'll just throw it up, the Hail Mary, the jump ball. I wonder if they'll put in Preston Kay. He's a big 6'5 receiver. We haven't seen him on any of the last few downs here, rather Peyton Kay. I got to imagine they're going to be just throwing all of their tallest guys out there for the Hail Mary attempt in the south end zone on what should be the final play of the ball game. 16-13, RPI leads Hobart, just 4 seconds remaining. The ball is sitting at the RPI 45. Hobart going left to right.
3 receivers on the left. They've got a tight end on the right. Cruson out of the shotgun. Denham stays in the block. Cruson is backing up, throwing end zone. It's not going to make it that far. It's going to hit somebody short. It's incomplete. It's incomplete. Incomplete. Game over. RPI wins 16-13.
Game is over. Final score.
Tough win for RPI. Just to go over that last play again, Cruson had 3 receivers left, and I think the wind did factor in there because he tried to just haul off and throw it as far as he could, and it was going to be short anyway. It was down at about the 6-yard line is where the jump ball took place. Nobody came down with it. Instead, it hits the ground, and it's an incomplete pass, and the ball game is over. And what an exciting finish. RPI up 2-0 at the half. Hobart rallies for consecutive touchdowns at the end of the 3rd and start of the 4th quarter. They're up 13-2, looking like they have it locked down when the RPI offense, which had been frustrated all afternoon, not able to get into the end zone, puts together 2 drives for 2 scores, both of them coming on passes from Kazanowski to DJ Palmer. Late in the 4th quarter, RPI 2 touchdowns, and along with a 2-point conversion at the end, making the final score 16-13, a big win for RPI. They stay unbeaten in conference at 3-0, and now will be headed towards a showdown in Ithaca in 2 weeks against the Ithaca Bombers, a team that right now everyone considers to be the favorite to win this conference.
Ithaca with a 9-0 lead at the half over St. Lawrence. So they are still in action today. And, of course, Ithaca is playing next week as well.
Right.
So Ithaca will have a game next week before RPI faces them. They could be 2-2. They could be 4-0. We don't know what Ithaca is going to be. RPI will be 3-0 going into Ithaca in 2 weeks. But you look at those drives. RPI didn't get anywhere. And then I believe in the 4th quarter, did RPI get it at the 34?
I believe so, yeah.
They got it at the 34 of Hobart.
Well, you know, that the wind became a factor here at the end, too, right? It was 13-2. Hobart's leading. They had the ball deep in their own territory. They ran 3 straight plays trying to run clock, so they had to punt. But they were punting from the line of scrimmage of the 14, and with the wind really blowing, Weffering, the punter, only got it off 20 yards. So RPI took over at the 34, which gave them a lot of momentum to score that first touchdown.
Right, so they got the short field, and the other drive was 70 yards. Mm-hmm. That was the 30-yard. They got it on the 30, and they had to drive 70 yards in order to get the TD. That was the longest drive of the game, by the way, scoring drive. Was RPI's final drive, the 70-yard drive to get the touchdown.
And to break it down a little bit, what happened at the start of that drive, RPI began on its own side of the field, and Hobart was kind of playing almost that prevent style of defense where they were not putting up much of a rush and they were just dropping everybody back in zone coverage. But all that did was allow RPI to just tick, 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 move the ball down a field into Hobart territory.
So RPI's offense puts it together late. 7:44 to go, and then 24 seconds to go is when they scored the 2 touchdowns. If you're Hobart, the probably difficult part of this one is they got the ball with 7:44 to go and wasted almost 5 minutes of clock time. But RPI still came back.
Yeah.
They couldn't take enough time off the clock. If they had taken another minute off the clock, they probably would have won the game. Even maybe another 30 seconds, because RPI scored 24 to go. If they take another 30 seconds off the clock on that drive, maybe they win this game. They just didn't get enough clock time off in that almost 5-minute drive that didn't net them anything except getting rid of clock.
Well, that was the thing. Look, hey, running 5 minutes off of the clock when you're ahead 13-8, at the time it might have felt like just enough for Hobart. But like we said, RPI gets the ball, and Hobart kind of plays soft defense. And all of a sudden, 3 or 4 passes later, RPI's well down the field to set up the touchdown pass to DJ Palmer. So, this one was like, just what a crazy game in a way.
It was like 2 different games.
It was the first half where RPI could have scored a touchdown in the first half. Let's remember they had 2 good drives. One ended in a fumble, one in an interception. They went to the halftime locker room leading 2-0 when it felt like they should have had at least a 9-0 lead there. And for a while it looked like they were going to regret that was going to be the failures in the first half was going to be part of the reason why they'd lose this game, because they gave up 2 touchdowns to Hobart and all of a sudden was down 13-2 in the fourth quarter, halfway through the fourth quarter, and they were doing nothing on offense in the second half.
So I'm going to run down the scoring in today's game. Yancey has to pick his engineers of the game. There was no scoring in the first quarter of today's game, and barely any scoring in the second quarter. There was 1 score. 1:08 to go in the first half. A safety. RPI got a safety because Hobart snapped the ball. It went past Boswell, who was in the QB position at the time, went to the goal line and then getting kicked out of the end zone. And that was a safety for RPI, and the teams went into the locker room with RPI leading 2-0. With 3:02 left to go in the third, Cruson to Labella with a 38-yard touchdown pass put Hobart up 6-2. The pass on the conversion failed. And then with 12:51 to go in the game, Cruson to Daramola. Did I get that pronounced? Yeah, I got that right. 33 yards. Weffering with the kick made it 13-2 in Hobart's favor. If you were an Engineer fan and you were here, there's 12:51 to go. RPI's offense hadn't done anything. It was looking grim at that point. But then we talked about RPI got the short field. They got the ball at the 34 of Hobart, and they quickly put it in with 7:44 to go. Kazagnowski hit Palmer on a 29-yard touchdown pass. The rush attempt failed on the conversion, so it was 13-8 Hobart at that point. Hobart took almost 5 minutes off the clock on the drive. They didn't score. They punted. RPI got it at the 30. And with 24 seconds left, they scored a touchdown. Kazagnowski to Palmer, 8 yards. And Kazagnowski with the rush on the conversion made it a 16-3 score in RPI's favor. Hobart got the ball back but couldn't make it downfield. And it was the final today, RPI 16 and Hobart 13. RPI improving to 5-2 on the season, 3-0 in the conference. Hobart falling to 3-3 on the season, 0-2 in the conference. That effectively eliminates you. There would have to be some sort of bizarre, massive 4-2 multiple team ties, and you'd have to win the tiebreaker, and that's probably not going to happen at this point. So Hobart, not technically but effectively eliminated from the league title at this point. For Hobart, they are at St. Lawrence next Saturday. That's a 1 p.m. start. For RPI, they are off next week, and on the 29th, they are at Ithaca for a 1 p.m. start. Your engineers of the game?
Well, we'll start on defense. They dominated so much of that first 2.5 quarters, and they really had a terrific day. All in all, a lot of guys, good afternoons, but it's definitely Joe Deptula led the Engineers with 12 tackles, by far the leader in that category for the Engineers, followed by Conquo with 8. Offensively, boy, they were challenged for so much of the afternoon, weren't they? But one of the guys who really came through in that fourth quarter, DJ Palmer. He finished the ball game with 4 receptions for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. He scored both of their touchdowns, and he caught the final 2 passes of the afternoon for RPI. The 9-yard catch, which then set up the touchdown on their final offensive play. Quick slant from the near sideline, fighting off a defender, making the catch at the goal line, and getting in for the score. DJ Palmer, your offensive player of the day for Rensselaer.
And that will do it for us here from the East Campus Stadium. Again, a tale of two games. If you only listened to the first half and just tuned in late, a much more exciting second half, especially the last 20 minutes of playtime, really. The game came alive at the very end and took a 2-0 game and made it a 16-13 game the way it turned out. Around the league, they've started the third quarter. Ithaca now has a 15-0 lead on St. Lawrence. And Rochester defeated Buffalo State 12-6. And those are your out-of-town games. Union is not playing this week. So those are your scores from out of town. Thank yous. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of engineer football, hockey, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we're sending something out over the air, we're providing for you on that feed. That's WRPI.org. Our next sports broadcast tonight, 7 o'clock at the Houston Fieldhouse. They drop the puck, RPI versus Army in men's hockey. And football in 2 weeks. That's a 1 p.m. start 2 weeks from today on October 29th. It'll be RPI at Ithaca, which is gearing up to be a big game in the Liberty League. Whoever loses that game is not going to be in good shape down the stretch. Winner is in better shape.
Well, every week it's like someone now getting kind of knocked out of the race. As you mentioned, Hobart effectively knocked out of the race today, mathematically alive, but really technically out of it. Now you're down to 3 teams, Union, RPI, and Ithaca, looking at them in terms of who's going to emerge as the conference winner. And a big matchup, of course, then 2 weeks from now in Ithaca.
So we'd like to thank Will Dunn back at the station for making sure we got out over the air. Yancey Rory was to my right. My name's Kurt Stott. We would like to thank you for listening to today's game. The final score here from the East Campus Stadium this afternoon in Liberty League football action, it was RPI 16 and Hobart 13. And you've been listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI, Troy.